Forget it. The greater picture is more important. We should report to the master first. The white emissary wanted to attack Long Fei as well, but he was afraid that his master would punish him. Forget it. The greater picture is more important. We should report to the master first. The white emissary wanted to attack Long Fei as well, but he was afraid that his master would punish him. Emperor Xian laughed. Emissaries, don't worry. Now that the repression of boundary stones is in my possession, I have plenty of time to deal with that brat. I will make him live a life worse than death. With the repression of boundary stones in his hands, he finally had time to deal with Long Fei. As for Long Fei, he had to kill him. The three withdrew. The clouds above the Zhou Mountains were swirling in the air, looking extremely muddle-headed. Suddenly, a purple dragon swooped down, its huge body rolling up and down, lifting Long Baishan's broken statue up into the air. It directly transformed into a purple light and disappeared into the horizon. And then there was Long Fei. The god-living mountain used a spatial technique to escape, flying all the way to the unknown place in the primal chaos mentioned by Grandfather. In these few days, his identity was also completely exposed, adding on the fact that he had killed the undead lord, the Great Sky Sovereign Tiger Wu, and the Xians. Everyone believed that he was Long Baishan's inheritor. This was the only possibility that he could kill the two Great Sky Sovereigns. Who wouldn't want Long Baishan's power? Whoever obtained it would be able to reach the peak of the realm and become the new #1 powerhouse of the ancient world. They would become the victors of the war for the god of boundary not long after, and become the god of boundary. This was also the reason the powerhouse tore through the void one after another, killing intent after another fell from the sky. You dog, you want this daddy's life? Wait till this daddy controls the power of the pubes and doesn't want to kill all of you. Then this daddy will not be named Long. Long Fei said coldly, and quickly advanced through the void. His identity had already been completely exposed, and the entire divine space, as well as the other families, were all boiling with excitement. The #1 powerhouse of the ancient times, Long Batian. Just these few words alone were enough to make them go crazy. The powerhouse S and ancient family S of the divine space, as if they had been injected with chicken blood, came out of seclusion and began to crazily chase after him. No matter where Long Fei went, there would always be people slashing through the air and attacking him. But as expected, they were all killed by Long Fei. Master, the only way for us to take another step forward is to enter the Bedlam lands. When that happens, we'll kill them all. Long Quang's voice was ice-cold, his killing intent undiminished. Don't worry, I know my limits. After I finish this wave, I'll enter the Bedlam lands. These are all experience. I can't let them go to waste. Long Fei said. Chase him down? Long Fei had gone through a violent journey. The number of massacres he had experienced was incalculable. Even the God's tribe's 3 great Empyreans dared to make a move on him. So these so-called ancient family S in his eyes were undisguised experience. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The void exploded as numerous figures appeared out of nowhere. Ha ha! Long Fei is here. Long Baishan's power is mine now. Just you? If you don't know what cultivation you have, how dare you covet a mere ancient era's 3rd rank? F*CK off. You, everyone who landed were experts of the divine space, with the lowest cultivation level being ancient great masters. Some of them were even at the peak of the ancient supreme realm. Long Fei watched coldly, his killing intent dense. Master, quickly do it. The longer you drag it out, the more people will come chasing after you. Long Quang reminded. Without a super great complete realm expert, even Long Fei would not be in any danger. But he suspected that these were only the vanguard troops. The ancient family S had deep roots, and it was impossible for them to not have super great complete realm. I was waiting for them. Since they want to kill me, I will make them tremble in fear. Long Fei disapproved and looked forward. Is that all you guys? Long Fei said. He actually didn't flee? A trivial almighty being. I truly want to know who gave you the courage to be so arrogant. This kind of trash is worthy of Long Baishan's strength. Hand it over, then kneel on the ground and beg for mercy. Who knows, I might have shown you a great deal of kindness and let you live." The people of the ancient family laughed crazily. They had thought that the person who had obtained Long Batian was an awesome person. But he didn't expect it to be just an ant in the first level of the ancient times. Smile. Trash. 8. Explosion fist. Long Fei immediately made his move, his figure suddenly disappearing, directly appearing in front of them, his fist striking out, directly blowing up their faces. Boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions disrupted all of his thoughts. A punch to the head, but there was nothing flashy about it. Who's the King trash? Do you think you can kill your father just to obtain Long Batian's power? Come on, your father's right here, come kill. Long Fei's eyes were cold. Facing these people in front of him, he did not put them in his eyes at all. Ding! Congratulations on killing a Sun family disciple. Rewards: 10,000 experience points, 10,000 holy source points, 1 striking value point. The system beep appeared. Long Fei was too lazy to care about this. This kind of naughty stuff was completely useless to him. Even the experience points was too little for him. However, since they dared to chase him down, Long Fei would naturally send them to hell. Kid, you dare to attack. Another disciple of the ancient family spoke with a surprised voice. He never thought that it would be this kind of situation. And it was a one-punch kill. Kill him. An ant wants to turn the sky upside down and kill him. At this time, the people of ancient family stood together on the front lines, their killing intent soaring to the heavens. So much nonsense. Explode for me. Long Fei turned around, locked onto a person, and attacked again. Inscriptions appeared on his right arm, and in an instant, a terrifying energy exploded from this fist, sweeping in all directions. Boom, boom, boom. Long Fei's fists shot out like shadows, striking out 3 times in a row. 3 punches later, the bodies of 3 youths from influential clans exploded as they died. You want to kill me? Do you think that you are worthy of it? Long Fei said indifferently. Ding, ding. Long Fei locked his gaze on the remaining dozens of people, and his face revealed a trace of insanity. Now, it's your turn. Ancient family is just like that, far worse than those few Xian nationality dogs. Long Fei said, these experience points, to his current level of experience, were like a drizzle, completely useless. This kind of person, even if there were tens of thousands of them, would not even be enough for Long Fei to level up. Impudent, he actually dared to slander our family. Everyone join hands and kill him. Our Lin family's elder is about to arrive. Let's see how this trash will die then. My Gu family's general is also on the road. We'll delay him and make him die a graveless death. Long Fei, if you have the guts, wait for my expert to come. At this moment, they were terrified. Long Fei was too strong and could not be used to estimate his realm at all. Like cutting vegetables, the ancient Almighty's punch directly exploded out, causing them to feel cold. Idiot, when Lousy kills people, shouldn't Lousy look at the calendar and divide it into groups of 3, 6, and 9? Don't worry. No matter which family you guys are from, when I return, all of you will be removed from the divine space. Towards his enemies, Long Fei would never be merciful. Since they wanted to kill him, the best response would be to counterattack. Master, I can feel a few powerful auras appearing. Let's finish this quickly. As long as we enter the primal chaos grounds, even ancient family would not be able to find us. Long Quang reminded, is it finally here? I wonder if these aristocratic families will take on the small boss this time. Long Fei thought. After experiencing the gods' tribes, 3 great Empyreans, Long Fei had a basic understanding of the divine space. Although these families had existed for a long time, no matter how powerful they could not compare to the Xian nationality. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Emperor Xian to become the overlord of the divine space. Long Fei, it's time for you to die. I feel that my clan's powerhouse has arrived. At this time, the Lin family member who was trying to persuade others to attack said with an arrogant expression on his face, as if Long Fei had already caused their Lin family to lose their souls from his punches. Is that so? It's a pity that you can't see it. Long Fei raised his head, and his figure instantly disappeared. No, save me. The Lin family disciples who spoke were instantly stupefied. They did not expect that Long Fei would kill them as soon as he said he would. Save you, not to mention your Lin family's elders. Even if your Lin family's master were here, I would beat him into a grave. Die. Long Fei did not move, and with a punch, he created a rift in space. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Stop. Right at this moment, a pair of gigantic palms appeared in the sky, stirring up the void and smashing down towards Long Fei. A giant, light yellow palm pierced through the barrier of space and descended. A giant, light yellow palm pierced through the barrier of space and descended. The entire space rumbled. It's good that you dare to kill members of my Lin clan. This old man shall decide on your dog head. A voice descended from the sky with boundless rage. Elder, haha, my Lin family's elder has come. There is no need to die. Long Fei, you trash, just you wait to die. The eyes of the Lin clan disciples glimmered with hope, as if they had been granted amnesty. Long Fei did not move. Towards the gigantic palm that was descending, he seemed to not have heard anything. Save you? For the people I want to kill, not to mention the peak of the ancient era, even if God himself were to come, it would be of no use. Long Fei's body moved forward, and his fist descended, directly landing on the face of the Lin family's disciples. Boom! Boom! With a loud explosion, the Lin clan disciples were reduced to smithereens. Long Fei, you're courting death. At this moment, the Lin clan's elders had also arrived. Upon seeing that countless disciples of their clan had died, a cold glint flashed across their eyes. There's so many people that want me to die. Who do you think you are? Long Fei looked at the Lin family elder and said. But this glance finally allowed a bit of lust to rise in Long Fei's heart. Boss. The boss that was glowing with a faint golden light was at this level. Although it was weaker than the three great sky sovereigns, it was still enough to make Long Fei excited. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Right at that moment, the entire space started to shake as several figures descended from the sky. Furthermore, their cultivations were not weak. Both of them had reached the peak realm of an ancient almighty cultivator. What made Long Fei even more excited was that all of these people carried the light of a boss with them. Although it was not as strong as the Xian Sky Sovereign, it was still a boss. F***CK, 8 bosses. Doesn't that mean we can level up today? To Long Fei, there was nothing more important than leveling up. Kill them. We must kill them all. Long Fei's eyes lit up as he looked at the 8. Bastard, you are truly bold. You even dare to kill people from our family. You are truly looking to die. The Long family and Mu family are already homeless dogs. You actually dare to make a move? You really don't know how to write the word. Long Fei, hand over Long Baishan's power. That kind of thing is not something that a trash like you can have. Hand it over, and this old man will let you go. Everyone opened their mouths and looked at Long Fei, filled with desire. Long Fei tightened his chrysanthemum. This kind of gaze made his heart turn cold. F***CK. Why do I feel like the boss in their eyes is trying to kill me? Long Fei thought. Whatever. No matter what, these 8 bosses have to be killed. Dragon Quang, look for the flaw in their strength and kill them in one strike. Long Fei said, although they had their own trump cards, after all, these were old monsters that had lived in the divine space for tens of thousands of years without falling. They definitely had some methods that could not be underestimated. Master, the powers of these people are extremely strong, almost perfect. If we don't attack them, I can't really say where their weaknesses are. Long Quang replied. In that case, I'll just force them to take action. Long Fei's eyes moved, and he suddenly took a step back. Die. It was impossible to retreat. How could Long Fei be willing to let go of the boss if he did not destroy them in front of him? However, right now, what Long Fei was targeting were these people from influential families. He did not believe that if these people died, these 8 bosses would not get angry. As long as they made a move, it would be his opportunity. Boom, 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 boom. Punches after punches, where Long Fei's fists passed by, space itself exploded. The people at the second and third level of the ancient realm were unable to resist at all, and in an instant, they turned into dust. Ding, ding. The system kept beeping out notifications. However, Long Fei's attention was focused on the 8 bosses. After all, only the boss could cause Long Fei's heart to become restless. You're courting death. You dare to kill my Gu family's disciple in front of me? I'll send you to your death. The Gu family's war general roared. His fist descended, cutting through the air and striking Long Fei. Master, quickly dodge. This punch contains the power of annihilation. Long Quang's voice sounded anxious. Long Fei did not dare to be careless. It was a boss after all, so he turned and jumped into the air. You want to escape? Impossible. The Gu family's war general sneered and sent out another punch after another. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Within a few seconds, the entire space was filled with fist shadows, crisscrossing and finally merging together. Long Fei continuously flew, but in the end, he was unable to dodge this fist. There was no escape. It was as if he had been locked on. Damn, we can't avoid it, right? The power of destruction, right? Let's see if we can destroy the senior Mia. Long Fei's anger rose. Power of inscription. With just a thought, Long Fei's body began to shine with light, and with a series of inscriptions on his body, his aura also doubled and became extremely powerful. Double strength? Is this the power of Long Batian? That's right, I'll take it, the Gu family general said indifferently. If you want it, then we'll have to see if you have the ability to do so. Explode for me. Long Fei also threw out a punch, clashing with the Gu family general's fist. Boom! Long Fei's punch instantly dissipated. The light of the inscription on his arm instantly disappeared, and Long Fei's figure also flew backwards in a flash. Boom! Long Fei's body continued to knock against a few mountains before stopping. The strength in his body had already dispersed, and his HP had almost fallen. Little Green, Little Flower said, I've prepared it long ago. Little Green shouted, and instantly healed. She gave a mouthful of milk to Long Fei, and her health point frantically recovered. Long Fei raised his head and looked at the Gu family's warrior. He didn't die. Looks like Long Batian's inheritance is indeed with you. However, the more powerful you are, the more I like you. Heaven Severing Halberd attack. With a light shout, the Gu clan general made a grasping motion in the air, and an ancient halberd appeared in his hands. Die! The Gu family general's halberd descended. Master, I have already seen through his weakness and power. That was defense. Although his physical body was powerful, but it was all concentrated in offense. His damage was not any less than powerhouses. However, his defense is only equivalent to the 7th level of the ancient powers. Long Quang's voice came out, carrying a bit of pleasant surprise. Similarly, Long Fei's eyes lit up. Earlier, it was a mistake to clash head-on with this general of the Gu clan. The other party had cultivated the power of attack, so naturally, he would not be able to gain the upper hand against him. All right, then I'll face you head-on. Body-securing curse. Long Fei bellowed, and in that instant, the figure of the Gu family's generals froze on the spot. Impossible! What kind of power is this? Why am I? The Gu family general, who was using the ancient halberd to kill Long Fei, had a face full of disbelief. In that instant, his entire body's strength seemed to be restricted, unable to move at all. 1 second, 2 seconds. Only after a full 2 seconds did the Gu family's generals regain control. However, the figure of Long Fei had long since disappeared from the ground below. Are you looking for me? The Gu family general's expression turned cold. He turned and saw Long Fei right in front of him, looking at him with a face full of ridicule. Explode for me. Long Fei's voice came out, and then he threw out a punch. Long Fei's voice came out, and then he threw out a punch. Not afraid of being arrogant, but afraid of not having any weaknesses. Now that my weakness has been exposed, will I still be afraid of you? Long Fei frantically threw out punches after punches. The Gu family general was directly beaten, and his figure could no longer hold on as he heavily fell onto the ground. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The Gu family general was blasted into a deep pit hundreds of meters deep. Go on, go on. If you want to kill Laozi, then wash your ass and wait for your ass to explode. Long Fei looked at the empty air coldly. This was the first time. If there was a boss, they wouldn't fight it. Lin clan elder, Gu clan lord, Zhou clan's spiritual immortal. The remaining 7 people had frozen expressions on their faces. Kid, don't be too arrogant. Do you think you can take care of the Gu family's generals or us? That's right, Long Fei. This old man advises you to not do whatever it takes to resist. All your struggles are futile. You will only die. Give up struggling. Death is your only outcome. The Lin clan elders and the others spoke in unison, and their faces were ice cold. At this moment, they couldn't help but change their minds. In their eyes, Long Fei, who was at the first level of the ancient realm, was just a complete trash. At most, he was just an ant with biceps. But now, the ants had turned the tables, and even the Gu clan general was being beaten. This caused their hearts to be filled with a desire to kill. Shut up, you bunch of old fogies. Why the hell aren't you being honest and lenient, and instead resist and comply with the rules? Do you think Laozi is a bandit? Long Fei was speechless. In vain? Struggle to the death? Then let's see who died in the end. Cough, cough. The Gu family's general crawled out of the deep hole. His body was already heavily injured, and even his battle armor had fallen off, falling to the ground in pieces. His eyes were extremely cold and full of killing intent. Brat, you've completely angered me. The price for angering me is... just die. The Gu family's generals were emitting a profound light from their bodies. War spirit possession. All right, this time the kid is dead for sure. We don't even need to do anything. You are truly courting death. An ant of the first rank of an ancient elder dares to be so rampant in the divinity? You deserve to die. The eyes of the Lin clan elders relaxed, but a glint appeared in Long Fei's eyes. He grinned, and saliva fell to the ground. F*CK, it mutated. The boss mutated. It's great to be so resistant to beatings. Long Fei watched as the Gu family's general rose from a small, glowing, golden boss to a red name. The stronger the boss, the higher the drop rate. This was the rule of the game. As a veteran gamer, Long Fei couldn't wait for these bosses to all mutate. Ants die for me. Spirit of extermination, fuse. The Gu family's warlord roared in rage, as if he had transformed. It was originally very tall and sturdy, and under the fusion of the war spirit, it was even more so when the blood vein bloomed, turning into a giant that was nearly 10 meters tall. Not only that, but the muscles were also surging out with endless power. Boom! As the halberd swept out, the surrounding area of several miles was immediately submerged by this surging, killing intent. Grass and trees withered, mountains and rivers cracked. Boom! Long Fei was immediately sent flying. After the mutation, the strength of the Gu family's general had risen dramatically. This kind of power could easily reach the super-perfect realm. What tremendous power! Most likely, even 2 levels of mastery can't compare to it. My Lin clan's ancestor once said that the Gu clan cannot be easily provoked. Otherwise, if they go berserk, they'll be able to kill people beyond their level. He really is strong. This time, this kid is dead for sure. The spectators all spoke up. Even their scalps were going numb from the Gu family general's explosive attack, let alone a Long Fei. Long Fei's entire person was immediately submerged by the giant boulder. Die, right? This time, this kid will definitely die. Then the next step will be to divide up Long Baishan's power. Your Lin family does not deserve Long Baishan's inheritance. Only our family of the ancient god can have it. Nonsense. Our Lin family is the ancient family of the divine space. You want to snatch it from my Lin family? The people from the venerable families of the divine space were already thinking of dividing the spoils. Wait, Elder, it seems like this kid isn't dead yet. A Lin clan disciple opened his mouth, and his throat was twitching. A look of terror appeared on his face. Before his voice fell, a loud noise suddenly erupted in the air as Long Fei, covered in blood, charged out from underneath the boulder. The dry land picked up the green onions and leapt into the air. Long Fei's figure immediately appeared in front of the Gu family general. Just this little bit of strength? Possession of the war spirit? Bullshit. Long Fei's face was sinister. His face was already covered in blood. That burst of power just now was too violent. If not for the critical moment, he might have been instantly killed when he used Death God's possession. Impossible. How could you still be alive? You should have died. You deserve to die. The Gu family general's face was filled with shock. Possession of the war spirit. This was an absolute killing method. His cultivation was at the peak of the 9th level of an ancient power. Coupled with the war spirit's possession, he was able to inflict damage that was at the level of perfection. This kind of explosive power was something that not many divine space could resist. Death is impossible. I am invincible here. I'm not afraid to tell you. This is Long Baishan's power. Long Fei said indifferently, with ridicule in his eyes. An undying body, haha. Long Baishan's strength is actually an undying body. Brat, hand it over obediently, and I will allow you to soar into the sky in one leap and become the holy general of my Gu family. At that time, your entire divinity will be able to rule over a region. The Gu family general's eyes shone as he looked at Long Fei. Is there something wrong with your head? I am immortal. You can't even beat me to death. Yet you want Long Baishan's power? Long Fei continued. What he needed to do now was drag it out. Unless it was absolutely necessary, Long Fei did not want to use the rank scroll. As long as he leveled up, everything would naturally be reset. But leveling up meant the elimination of all negative states, which was equivalent to a life-saving opportunity. Long Fei did not want to waste it. And now, with only a few minutes left, it was already early in the morning. When the Empyrean God was going to unleash his full power, everything would be settled. Impudent. Everything that doesn't die is relative. I don't believe that you won't die. The Gu clan general made his move once again, madly brandishing the ancient halberd. Time passed minute by minute. In the blink of an eye, the time the Grim Reaper had taken over his body had reached its limit. Ding! Death God's possession time countdown. 3, 2, 1. The Death God's possession was over. 1 minute to go. Damn it, I can only take it head on. The duration of death possession was over, but the cooldown for the Fiend God body wasn't over yet. In the future, this Empyrean God madman would still hold himself back. 1 minute was the turning point of Long Fei. As long as he could endure it, all the bosses would become Long Fei's welfare pets. That's not right, Master. His strength is weakening. I thought about it. Although the Gu family's war spirit is unparalleled, it is based on devouring profound qi. Right now, his profound qi is almost all absorbed. At this time, Long Quang suddenly said. Long Fei was startled and immediately looked towards the Gu family general. The health bar of the Gu family's warlord fell to 0. It went from 0 to only a few million. It could even be said that as long as Long Fei struck it once, it would instantly explode. You even fucking dare to attack? This won't do. Even if you want to die, you can only die by my hands. Now explode. Long Fei made a move. The level 8 explosion rampaged everywhere. Long Fei made a move. The level 8 explosion rampaged everywhere. He was going to kill this boss. This is so F***king cool. I thought I was going to be tough, but now I'm just playing myself to death. Long Fei looked at the Gu family general's health bar in his heart, which was disappearing at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the history of the game, this should be the easiest time to kill a boss. Brat, what are you trying to do? The Gu family general's heart turned cold. Looking at Long Fei, who was just inches away from him, the halberd in his hand started to reverse. What is it? Of course it's you. Long Fei simply did not resist. He was certain that the current general of the Gu family would not be able to unleash too much power. But right at this moment, a huge palm descended. Brat, go and die. Do you really think we won't know that you're dead, so we can obtain Long Baishan's power? At this moment, a change occurred. The Lin clan's elder suddenly made his move. Boom! Long Fei was smashed down with a single palm strike. and like a mountain of 5 fingers, it pressed Long Fei deep into the ground. Ding! Player's health point is too low. Ding! Player's health point is too low. Ding! Player's health point is too low. The system flashed once, and his entire body turned into a red screen, flashing nonstop in Long Fei's mind. "Little green, heal," Long Fei said. At this time, Long Fei did not hesitate at all. He took a look at the system interface. There were only a few dozen seconds left until the cooldown time for the God of Heaven fanatics was up. He knew that the requirements to use the sky-piercing leaf were very harsh. With Green's current power, he could only use it twice a day. Otherwise, the sky-piercing leaf would fall apart. But now he needed strength. Time required. Only by blowing up the general in front of him would he be able to drag out the time until the cooldown of the heavenly god-ferocious beast was over. All right, Little Green casted a spell. The treading through the sky vast leaf's light flashed, and a jade-green light enveloped Long Fei. In just an instant, the light disappeared. Long Fei was fully recovered. Impossible! That immortal aura on your body has clearly disappeared. How can it still be alive? The Lin family elders were all shocked beyond belief. Their cultivation realms had already reached the peak of an ancient supreme elder. She was very clear about the change in Long Fei's aura. The undying aura around Long Fei's body was extremely strange, but it had already disappeared the moment he attacked. But now, not only was Long Fei not dead, his strength had reached its peak. "Old dog, if you want to die, don't be in such a hurry. After I kill the Gu family's boss, it'll be your turn." Long Fei then disappeared again. With 1,000,000 HP, the injuries on Long Fei's body immediately disappeared. Power of Inscription. God Curse. Swish. A ray of light scattered, and the Gu family's general was immediately aggrieved. The same feeling once again descended upon him. He could no longer move, as if he was imprisoned. Even the war spirit was tightly locked within his body. 1 second, 2 seconds. It was the same for 2 seconds. But when the Gu family's warlord regained control of his body, the fear on his face didn't disappear. Instead, it was replaced with despair. Long Fei had already arrived in front of him. "No, don't kill me. I am a general of the Gu family. If you kill me, you will become enemies with the entire Gu family." Right now, he felt that he was facing death. As long as Long Fei's fist fell on him, he would definitely die. Begging for mercy? Are you begging for mercy now? What did you do when you chased me for thousands of miles? Explode for me. Without waiting for an explanation, Long Fei's fist fell. The Gu family general, as well as the war spirit in his body, were all smashed into smithereens with a single punch. Silence. A deathly silence. Silence became the only style in the world. The Gu family's generals were scared out of their wits. Ding! Long Fei's eyes were calm as he enjoyed the impact of the system beep. Ring, ring, ravage me to your heart's content. Long Fei liked the sound of the system the most, so he was a little expectant. After all, it was a mutated boss. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the Gu family's general. You have obtained 100 million experience points, 1 million holy source points, and 1 striking value point. Ding! Congratulations player Long Fei for obtaining the ancient halberd. The system notification sounded. Even the ancient halberd was dropped. A mutated boss is a mutated boss. Long Fei immediately opened the system's page, looking through them one by one. Weapon, halberd. Rank, super artifact, attributes, kill, destroy description. A soldier from the Gu clan, once died in blood with millions of people. After reading the description, Long Fei was excited. Vicious soldier, kill millions of people, such a brutal weapon. After the ivory divine sword had been destroyed by the celestial lord Hu Wu, there was no weapon that could support him and allow him to use the heavenly god ferocious art. It just so happened that he had dropped the ancient halberd, so he could use it. Long Fei thought about how there were no restrictions on the usage of divine berserk. The only thing he was unhappy about was that his use of the halberd had never been touched. Ding! System prompt. Do you wish to release striking value? At this moment, a system prompt appeared. I almost forgot that there's still striking value. I must release it, Long Fei said without hesitation. It was a mutated boss after all. If he used his striking value, he might be able to give out a special reward from the system. Will there be another level scroll? If it really doesn't work, then a life scroll is fine too. These are all life-saving trump cards. Long Fei thought as his eyes focused on the system interface. Ding! Congratulations, player. The ancient halberd has fused with the berserk energy and evolved into a heaven-revolving murderer. Long Fei was startled. Evolved? System, I love you so much. Is it really that human? Wait, why is it a poker? System, are you Asterisk King playing me? Is this evolution? Did you devour my striking value? Long Fei roared angrily in his heart, but he did not delay any further. Weapon, Heaven-Revolving Murderer. Rank, Super Artifact Plus. Attributes, Kill Special Skill, Space of Slaughter. Within range, the more people you kill, the more powerful it will be. Description, the form can be changed according to players' wishes. Long Fei was excited. This was too Asterisk King crazy. Although he did not get any special rewards, this alone had already made Long Fei happy. A big killing weapon. After this, the second monster would level up and become a holy artifact. Long Fei took out his great killing weapon and stood in midair, looking at the rest of the people. Dead. The Gu family's general is dead, just like that. As strength is simply too strong. We're going to join forces. Right. I don't believe that he could be a match for us. At this moment, the Lin family elders and the Gu family's spiritual gods all spoke up. Even if the Gu family's war general died, it wouldn't make them retreat. Long Baishan's power was simply too enticing. Especially now, when Long Fei was only at the first level of the ancient era, he could easily kill a peak stage, capable general of the Gu family. What if it was them? He would probably directly dominate the divine space. What Xian nationality, what Emperor Xian, what aristocratic families, they had all become their servants. Before he could finish his words, he was interrupted by Long Fei. Do you still want to kill me? It just so happens that I can let you guys have a taste of the power of this great killing weapon. Long Fei looked at the time and saw that it was just past midnight. Ding! Long Fei's figure stood proudly in the air. Ding! Heavenly God's Berserk cooldown has ended. Ding! Reaper, cooldown finish. To Long Fei, the crisp sound of the system notification was like the sound of nature. Once the cooldown ended, it meant that the killer moves were ready. Come on, my large saber has long been unable to endure the thirst. TSK, there are still 7 bosses. Long Fei looked at the others. Haha, what is this? It's a killing tool. Whose fire poker is this? How dare you call such a thing a killing machine? Could it be that Long Baishan's power has some sort of funny effect? I can't take it anymore. Let me laugh for a while. Otherwise, my state of mind might be unstable. The elders and immortals from the various families laughed wildly. Laugh. All of you will not be able to laugh later. Long Fei disapproved, holding onto the burning fire rod. With a thought, it turned into a large circular blade. At the same time, a classic flashed across Long Fei's mind. What kind of a blade is this? God of Heaven Berserk, chop. Long Fei made a move, and the God of Heaven frenzy was activated. He wanted to use consecutive slashes. Even the undead lord was feeling bitter under the power of the crazy god. So it was even more so when he saw these arrogant things in front of him. Ding, lock target. Rumble. The Lin clan's elder was laughing maniacally, but before he could stop, his expression froze. His laughter was too crazed, so much so that his expression was somewhat conflicted. At this moment, killing intent descended and a saber light flashed. Before he could retract his smile, it froze and turned into his last expression before his death. Ka! Asterisk as the saber landed. The head of the Lin clan elder fell to the ground as his soul perished. He was as dead as he could be. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the Lin family elder. You have obtained 100 million experience points, 1 million holy source points, and 1 striking value point. Ding! Congratulations to player on obtaining Lin family's world exterminating fist. Would you like to learn it? A Lin clan elder was after all a boss. Even though it wasn't a big one, it still gave a lot of EXP. World exterminating fist? Cultivate. Long Fei did not consider it. Just a moment ago, when the Lin clan's elders made a move, the powerful group of elders could be considered as a form of support for the current him. Ding! Congratulations, player, on practicing World Exterminating Fist. Current level 0/100000000. World Exterminating Fist, Super God level. Description: one punch to destroy the world, killing gods and slaughter immortals. If we train to the pinnacle, we will be able to destroy the heavens and the earth, as well as the plane of existence. Looking at the description, Long Fei couldn't help but suspect if the berserk point had yet to pass. Before, he had used a powerful killing weapon, but now, he had used a fist technique that could penetrate dimensions. It was simply too exciting. What a piece of trash, guarding such a powerful inheritance, yet not having done anything to the Emperor Xian. Long Fei felt disdain for them, but after thinking about it, these ancient families really did have some background. Involuntarily, Long Fei was filled with anticipation towards the remaining few people. God of Heaven Berserk, behead. Ding. Target locked. Boom. The long saber, Batian, directly split the sky into two and fell down with a loud bang. No! The Gu family's immortal spirit roared loudly, but the final result was still unavoidable. Once an Empyrean god appeared, he would definitely die. They might have their own methods, but how could they be stronger than the Undead Lord? Killing Undead Lord required 6 consecutive slashes, but killing them was enough with a single slash. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the Gu family's spiritual immortal. The reward is 100 million experience points, 100 million holy source points, and 1 striking value point. Ding! Congratulations, player, for clearing the boss consecutively. You have received a special reward from the system. The reward is 1 lottery. Long Fei was startled and immediately laughed out loud. F***CK. I knew that today's Berserk battle might not be over yet. You can keep your chances at the lottery. It might even drop something good. Long Fei thought and retracted his thoughts. There are 4 more. Are you ready? Long Fei looked into the sky, his expression calm. However, his eyes were still burning with fervor. These were all bosses. He had already seen them before and was only 5 billion away from leveling up. If he killed these bosses, he would be on the verge of reaching the next level. When that time came, there would be another method in the unknown. No, that's impossible. How could you possibly possess such a method? You're only a mere first-stage, ancient almighty being. How can you kill all of them in one go? I'm a powerhouse at the peak of the realm. Not good, retreat. Inform the clan and use your strongest power to hunt him down. We must not let him live. The remaining few almighty members of the Song clan, Zhou clan, Qin clan, and Feng clan, at this moment, no longer had the courage to linger around. Long Fei was now like a god of death. They would only stay for a second, which would decrease their chances of survival. In the face of life and death, whatever Long Batian or the strongest power from the ancient times, they were all bullshit. With his life gone, who would he give his strength to? Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The few of them had reached a mutual understanding, instantly forming a united front and drilling into the void. If you want to run now, can you still run? God of Heaven Berserk, behead. Boom! A single slash pierced through the void, followed by a stream of divine blood. The Song family's almighty expert had died. 10 seconds later, God of Heaven Berserk, behead. The system did not make any prompts, so Lianfin was too lazy to pay attention to it. With regards to the God of Heaven Madman's confidence in absolute victory, all of them had been locked on, and the moment they had attacked, Long Fei had already locked onto them. Up until now, there had been no one who had escaped the lockdown by the system. No! A blood-curdling screech rang out, and then there was no more sound. The mighty leader of the Zhou family had died. God of heaven, berserk, behead. Boom. God of heaven, madman, my final slash. Rumble. Although they were separated by 10,000 li, traversing through space, their fates remained the same in the end. They didn't even have the chance to plead for mercy, and were directly beheaded. Ding, 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 ding. The system rang out 4 times in a row. 4 billion experience directly poured into the system. The EXP bar had already reached its peak. As long as he killed another boss, he would be able to level up. However, these few people did not reveal anymore. It seemed that the system felt that Long Fei's receipt was too big today and wanted to maintain the balance. Long Fei did not mind. He was going to enter the unknown land of primal chaos anyway. After taking care of the few people, the rest of the clan disciples that came to chase them had already lost their souls. They never would have thought that they would end up being killed in the end after a chase. Even the elder, who was so arrogant and omnipotent in their eyes, was killed in an instant. Don't kill me, I was forced. Boom! Long Fei punched out. Are you begging for mercy now? Where'd he go? It must be great to be chasing me, right? You guys are chasing? Come. You're still here? Beep beep. Didn't I die? Who's dead now? Long Fei punched them one by one, harvesting them crazily. Although he didn't have much experience, the mosquito's legs were still meat. Furthermore, they were the ones who had come to kill him. As such, the only thing that awaited them was death. Master, you can leave now. I sense that there are still countless figures hidden in the darkness. Some of their auras are extremely powerful and have already reached the super-perfect realm. They might not even be able to last longer than Undead Lord. Long Quang reminded. All right, I know. Long Fei replied, then followed his grandfather's instructions before leaping into the air and disappearing without a trace. The sky was dark. The sky was dark. The sun and moon did not appear, and the stars did not appear. It was like a hell devoid of any light. In the middle of the darkness, in the midst of nothingness, the 8 heaven pillar suddenly started to sway, as if they would collapse in the next moment. Boss, it's the boss aura. Brother Yuan Ba, you felt it too? The boss is here. The boss is finally here. Ha! If it weren't for our mission, I would have gone out to follow boss in this world. Don't worry, there will be a chance, but not now. Yeah, we've already waited for so long, so we don't need this bit of time. Just wait. 8 King Kong. Holy King Kong. Yuling Guardian Warrior, Sword Force King Kong. These 8 pillars stood tall in an unknown region of primal chaos. They were waiting for Long Fei to arrive. Li Yuanba had already woken up, but he did not go see Long Fei. Instead, he returned to the heaven pillar S to wait, because this was a type of arrangement. No matter what they did, Long Fei would still come here in the end. In another part of this chaotic world, an enraged roar suddenly appeared. Long Quang, come out. I promise I won't beat you to death. Is this what you told me? Is this the F** King's safety you told me? Long Fei roared, expressing deep contempt for Long Quang. Entering this place was the same as returning home. Long Fei would never take the risk. Even if he had to travel for a few more days, he would follow the route which his grandfather had given him. It's been too long. Perhaps the unknown region has changed as well. However, the most important thing right now is to solve this current crisis. Long Quang muttered softly, feeling weak in his heart. Originally, they had escaped a wave of pursuit from the divine space and hurried towards this unknown region of primal chaos. But Long Quang was afraid of getting into trouble, so he pointed out another space node and went straight to the Bedlam lands. That was the reason for the current scene. TSK, a new person is here? However, the weak one was truly pitiful. A mere first-rank ancient cultivator, what qualifications does he have to enter this place? Not necessarily. Perhaps he is just a cultivator that has broken into the space node. But it is truly pitifully weak. With this sort of cultivation, one does not even have the qualifications to be a tooth pendant. But at least it's better than nothing. It's the old rule that whoever lands in front of the gate gets it. At this moment, conversations began to break out. These people had extremely charming chi, Just their words alone made Long Fei feel gloomy. So powerful. Their cultivations are all at the super great perfection stage. Long Fei was shocked. He immediately used his power, wanting to see what would happen. However, this place seemed to have a special kind of suppression. It was as if the entire area had been lifted up by the seal, causing him to be unable to see anything. The seal. No, if this is the seal, then how did I get in? Long Fei thought deeply in his heart as he used all his strength to control his body to stop moving. However, this space was too strange. God curse, stop yourself! Long Fei shouted loudly. His heart was in a frenzy as he even used his body, securing curse. Ding! Special map. Unable to use skill. Death God's possession. Ding! Special map. Unable to use skill. World exterminating fist. Ding! Special map. Unable to use skill. A hint of panic flashed through Long Fei's heart. This place caused him to be a loss. Along the way, even if it was a super boss, Long Fei had never cowered before. If he didn't submit, then it would be tough. But right now, Long Fei was simply unable to sense where the enemy was at all, and was simply unable to differentiate which direction was in front of him. The unknown was the most terrifying thing. This won't do. I can't continue like this. The auras from earlier were terrifyingly strong. We can't let nature take its course, or else. Long Fei thought. Little flower, can you feel anything? Long Fei did not give up, and asked with expectation. Master, this place doesn't have any plants. I can't sense anything. The flower fairy said with a wrong tone because he did not help Long Fei and instead felt that he was pitiful. As expected, Long Fei's eyes turned cold. He had already guessed the outcome. Even the system had indicated that it was a special map. It was likely that this place was extremely mysterious. Even in an unknown region of the primordial chaos, he was definitely not an ordinary existence. At this time, Long Quang's voice appeared again, but was filled with fear. Master, I think I know what kind of place this is. Long Quang trembled and said, If you know, then say it. Long Fei was a little agitated in his heart. If not for Long Quang, he would never have come to this crappy place. Master, this is a dungeon. Here, countless generations of powerhouse were suppressed, and tens of thousands of powerhouse were included. Also, legend has it that a god of boundary was locked in here. Long Quang hurriedly said. At the end of his words, his voice was barely audible, as if he was afraid of exposing any more of his aura, making it seem more dangerous. Infernal prison? There was such a place in the unknown primordial chaos. Doesn't that mean every person here was once a powerhouse? And there is another god of boundary? What does god of boundary mean by that? The god of boundary of the ancient world was once Long Batian. So no one should be able to become the god of boundary after Long Batian. So what period of time is the god of boundary a monster in? Long Fei gasped. Even a place like this would be terrifying, needless to say, personally arriving here. As for the few auras he had sensed earlier, Long Fei was even more certain that they were the people imprisoned in this devil prison, who used to be the supreme powerhouse. What should we do? What should he do? Do you have to accept it? Long Fei's mind raced. Not to mention some demon prison, not to mention the powerhouse that was imprisoned for countless of years. Even if it was an outer space powerhouse, Long Fei wasn't the slightest bit afraid. At most, he would just go crazy. It wasn't like he hadn't done something crazy. But now, this world was completely unknown. There were some things that one simply could not see, and even he himself did not know what kind of world this was. No, since it's a special map, it must be an instance dungeon. But why didn't the system prompt him? Do you need any special conditions? Long Fei suddenly thought of the system's prompt. Everything was done by the seal, which was impossible to use in this map. As a gamer, Long Fei was naturally clear that he had entered the instance dungeon. Long Fei's heart skipped a beat and checked the system. He saw that the system interface was all gray, with only the lottery window still flickering with red light. Lottery? You don't want this to trigger it, do you? Forget it. Just treat it as a living treatment. System lottery, Long Fei said. Would you like to spin a lottery chance to draw? The system asked as usual. Right away, right now. The lottery draw. Long Fei confirmed. Crash. Asterisk the system's lottery page began to fade as the heavenly treasures described on it suddenly disappeared. Then, the page changed and a pile of things that Long Fei had never heard of appeared. Through heaven's eyes? Observation world heart. Ancient lantern? What the F asterisk CK is this? Long Fei was enraged. This time, the lottery draw made Long Fei feel an abnormal pain in his balls. Suddenly, Long Fei's eyes flashed. F asterisk CK. Are they really going to draw to open the dungeon? Long Fei was starting to get excited. Ding began the lotter. Whoosh! The wheel of the lottery began to spin, and the needle passed through the eye of heaven. It spun faster and faster, until it completely surpassed the range of Long Fei's perception, and he couldn't even see the path clearly. Finally, the voice of his system beeped. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Flames of the World. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Flames of the World. The system's voice appeared. A cluster of flames appeared in front of Long Fei. Flames of the Shining World. Function. Damage? Long Fei looked astonished. All question marks. Is this thing useful? In this space, the unknown terror was everywhere. In addition to the extremely powerful aura that was hidden in the darkness, even the dragon Kwang felt fear. He had been hoping that the system would come up with something special to resolve the current predicament, but he never expected to draw question mark. Whatever, I can only forcefully drag him into this. System, please don't mess with me this time around. Long Fei made up his mind and directly took out the cluster of flames. Ding! Congratulations, player, for triggering special task. Save the Planar Lords. Quest time. 3 years. Mission level SS class. Task reward, 100 million experience points. Special once. Mission failed, die. Ding! Does the player accept? The system kept prompting him. Long Fei was startled. As expected, he had triggered a special mission. Fortunately, I'm not wrong. This special instance dungeon had triggered the quest. But to save the Lord of the Plane? Long Fei's mind wavered. Thinking back to the tyrannical aura he had felt within the darkness of the unknown, his heart trembled. These existences were extremely powerful, and were all incredibly powerful existences. But now, the system quest had saved them. How powerful would their existence be? And how terrifying would their Tao be? Especially the fact that the punishment for this mission was death, which made Long Fei feel even more depressed. Ding! Player accepts quest. The system's enforcement simply did not give Long Fei the chance to choose a forceful definition. Damn, it's like this again. Since it's a trigger mission, why don't you give me a choice? So whose F asterisk king mission is this? Long Fei secretly cursed in his heart. F asterisk CK. If the system was a girl, I would have definitely smacked you 10,000 times with my whip. Long Fei cursed. However, there was nothing he could do about it. The system was the most important. All objections were useless. Long Fei looked at the cluster of flame in his hand, and his eyes moved slightly. The lottery device triggering a quest was outside of the game's rules. Either this item was the key to the quest, or this quest wasn't as complicated as he had imagined. Boom! At this moment, the flame in his hand suddenly glowed brightly. It turned from a cluster of flames into a torch. In an instant, the entire space was illuminated by the fire, and everything appeared in front of them. Holy shit, this is even more terrifying than hell. The firelight illuminated everything, and in this region, everything was revealed. Dry, rotten, bones entering the mountains, the blood rivers spreading. There was not a single trace of life left in this world. This was simply not an environment in which a single person could live in. In this kind of world, if Long Fei had to endure for half a year, even he would go crazy from apprehension. Light, how is this possible? How is it possible for light to appear in this demon prison? Rat, what is that thing in your hand? Quickly bring it over for me to see. Boy, quickly come over here and give me the thing in your hand, or else I'll kill you. Long Fei's ears instantly transmitted a wave of noise. The entire space seemed to have gone mad. Looking at Long Fei, his face was filled with endless hope. To be exact, she was looking at the torch in Long Fei's hand. "Shut up, a group of prisoners. What are you doing trying to be crazy in front of me? You guys can't even break through the cage, and you still dare to be so arrogant in front of Lousy. Kill me. Who the heck said that they wanted to kill me just now? Come out now." Long Fei coldly said with disdain in her eyes. These people were the masters of the plane, and they were his saviors. Since this was saving them, how could they possibly break out of this cage? "You, kid, you're courting death. Watch out for yourself." These people were all powerhouse of the heavens, the former lords of the plane. Now that Long Fei had directly scolded them in pain, it was even more unbearable. Play with fire? Yeah. Lousy is King playing with fire right now. Why don't you do the same? Long Fei disapproved and walked forward step by step. And what he was walking on was not a road at all. It was an echelon cultivator. It was like a track, marking the sequence and listing them one by one. No wonder I said just now that it would be whoever that walks in front of it. So that's the problem. Long Fei raised the torch and squatted down to study it. There was no sign of a formation in these formations, and they were completely formed from nature itself. It was as if a supreme expert had created it. The path of depravity. Yes, the path of corruption. Each member of the echelon was linked to a cage, and the only way to proceed was to be imprisoned. As for the bones, because they weren't kept in the cage, they were eventually devoured by the echelon cultivators. In other words, the path of the echelon has been completed. Brat, you're about to die. No one can break the path of the echelon. There is no longer any space in this demon prison. If you continue on, you will die soon. You're going to number 4. You'll be in front of me soon. When the time comes, I will let you know what it means to want to die rather than to live. Come on, come on. Ancestor, it has been a long time since I have tasted such fresh and tender blood. At the end of the path, the existences in the 4th demon prison began chattering. Long Fei frowned. In this space, all of his strength had already been mobilized by the seal, so he was unable to move at all. Sequence. Since they're in the echelon, it doesn't matter if they're broken. Long Fei looked at the torch in his hand. This is the quest item. Long Fei did not believe that it was only light. Boom! Long Fei immediately held the torch in his hand, close to the path of the echelon. And suddenly, something strange happened. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Rumble, rumble, rumble. As soon as the flames touched the path of the echelon cultivator, the entire path of the echelon shattered, followed by a tremor. A rumbling sound pierced the horizon. It was extremely restless. Even Long Fei could not help but cover his ears. Crack, crack, crack. However, it was at this point that the echelon came to an end. The prison began to collapse. Ha! Lousy is free. Lousy is free. After millions of years, I finally regained my freedom. Brat, your time of death has come. I never would have thought that the torch in your hand would have such power. Hand it over to me, and I'll let you die a peaceful death. Die for me. Long Fei was confused. It jumped out? Could it be that this torch was the key? System, you're King messing with me. Long Fei's expression was bitter. Right now, his strength had already been released by the seal, so all means were useless in this space. But right now, the existence that had struggled free of the dungeon was already in front of him. System, don't King feign death. Strength, give me strength. Your father is dead, and everything is gone. Long Fei wanted to take out the puppet from God's pavilion, but it had failed now as well. Ding, congratulations, players saved, master of the demonic origin. Ding, congratulations, players saved. The unknown space, the unknown land. The unknown space, the unknown land. Emperor Xian's face was full of respect. As though he was listening to her teachings, he lowered his head and muttered. But suddenly, the Emperor Xian raised his head and looked in a direction towards the divine space. The dungeon is loose? How is that possible? Emperor Xian's face was filled with fear, as if he knew something extremely terrifying. And on his palm, there was an ethereal body. It was the same. Divine space, abyss, demon prison. Someone touched my fruit? He's really courting death. The aura around this person changed. With just a single sentence, he had caused the aura around him to change drastically. Streams of killing intent wreaked havoc in the void. Emperor Xian immediately used his cultivation technique to resist, as though even with his power, he could only tremble in the face of this killing intent. "Master, why don't I go back and take a look?" Emperor Xian asked with a probing look. "No need, they're just a bunch of ants. In any case, the unknown land will soon become my possession. The more active they become, the faster they will die." The person in the sky said. "Master said that if you descend, no one in the entire unknown world will be able to stop you. The divine Buddha will kneel down and kowtow." The Emperor Xian said with a bit of flattery. "Right?" The person in the sky lightly responded, no longer saying anything. It was just that Emperor Xian's eyes were constantly looking at the unknown place of the divine space, as though he had his own plans. Long Fei was already prepared to take action, even though the system had sealed off all his powers. Long Fei would not retreat. But at this moment, the system suddenly issued out a prompt. "Saved?" Long Fei's heart froze. He had been saved. Ding! Player Long Fei has absolute control over the planar lord that you have saved. With a single thought, you will be able to determine life and death. The system's voice appeared. "Ha ha! I knew that since System Girl is so good, he would definitely be unwilling to see me die. This isn't a fatal mission. It's clearly a welfare gift." Long Fei laughed, extremely excited. "Kneel before your father," Long Fei shouted. This was absolute control, and it was definitely the highest quality product produced by the system. "You brat." The master of the plane who was rushing at him from the Devil Origin plane was wildly wreaking havoc, preparing to snatch the world-renowned fire from Long Fei's hands, but right at this moment, his body froze in midair. Plop! Kneeling on the ground. After Long Fei finished his sentence, he fell on his knees uncontrollably. "No, that's impossible. How could you possibly control me? What kind of power is this? I refuse to accept it." The demon's sovereign roared, the veins on his face bulging as he struggled to get up. "Kneel before Lousy. I'm asking you, who else is there? Aren't you arrogant? If you dare to be so arrogant again, then I'll see." Long Fei held up the torch, his face full of ridicule. "Kneel!" Long Fei shouted. Long Fei had never felt so comfortable in his heart before. He had done a lot of things, such as fighting a boss, so it was a common occurrence. However, this was the first time a supreme existence had kneeled to the ground like this. The Demon Master's eyes were bloodshot and bloodshot. He struggled madly, wanting to get up, but Long Fei's words were like a nightmare. As long as he had the thought of resisting, his body would be like a drop of blood pulling at tendons, and the pain would be unbearable. He could only kneel down obediently. "Kid, what did you do?" The Devil Origin Master glared at Long Fei and asked. "What did you do? You'll know soon enough. And you guys, aren't you crazy? Didn't you say that you want to take my salary? If that's the case, then come out." Long Fei's eyes flashed with light, and the fire in his hand flickered. The sequence began to collapse. Starting with the first echelon cultivator, it only took a moment for rumbling sounds to fill the air. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The entire abyss looked like it was about to collapse. One after another, the leaders of the planes inside the dungeons looked at everything that was happening in front of them in a daze. After 3 breaths, the abyss calmed down. A total of 990 echelon cultivators collapsed. The Lord of the Realm of the Infernal Realm had broken free from his cage, but none of them moved. No one dared to move. The Master of the Devil Origin was an example of this. Since Long Fei was able to control Master Mo Yuan, then what about them? "What, free now? You don't want to kill your father anymore?" Long Fei glared at them. "Kid, I advise you not to be too arrogant. Right, our cultivation is not something an ant in the first level of the ancient era, like you can imagine. I advise you to leave now. You still have a chance to live." These ancient existences started to bewitch Long Fei. They were not sure if Long Fei possessed the power to control them or not. But they did not dare to take the risk. Bet it. It was everything. Dignity and life. Stop talking nonsense. Kneel before me right now. Long Fei said directly. With a move of the fire in his hand, it lit up even more. Under the illumination of the flames, each and every ruler of the plane seemed to be out of control. As if they were being pulled by some unknown force, they directly arrived in front of Long Fei. Plop, plop. There were no surprises, and he would not accept any rebuttal. Including the Devil Origin Master, a total of 999 supreme existences all knelt in front of Long Fei. Arrogant. Why are you being arrogant for your father? Long Fei looked down, as though he was a sovereign king standing high above. Ding! Congratulations to the players for saving the Lord of the Weak Waters. Completion 2/1-000 of the mission. Ding! Congratulations to the players for saving the Master of the Earth Fire Plane. Completion 3/1000 of the mission. Ding! Congratulations to the players for saving the Lord of the Overlord Realm. Completed 999% of the mission. The system notifications popped up in his mind, one after another. A total of 900 planes, 999 of them. Now that they had broken free from the prison, it was equivalent to regaining their freedom. Long Fei's mission was already completed. Of course, they were free. He had only managed to break free from the prison. Because in front of them, Long Fei was a god that could not be defied. Now line up and kneel for Lousy. Yes, according to your sequence. Sing Conquest for me. Each of you can't repeat a single word. Long Fei was leaking, releasing. From the divine space to this unknown land, he had a bear a lot. Endless slaughter and endless suffering. They could still see each other's sorrows clearly. Even if Long Fei refused to accept the heavens and earth, and refused to obey the gods, he could defy the heavens and tread on the spirit. However, there was still pressure in his heart. But right at this moment, Long Fei's expression froze, as if he suddenly thought of something. 999? And the other one? That's not right. There are only 999 of them in this abyss. Where's the other one? Long Fei raised the flaming flame world and searched again. But there was nothing in this entire space, not even a trace of its existence. Wait, could it be a system bug? There's no thousandth? Is this an impossible mission? Long Fei sank into deep thought. Rumble. But at this moment, Long Fei's body trembled, and he retreated uncontrollably. Not good. The space around them shook violently. It was extremely unstable, as if there was a great terror that was about to appear. The space around them shook violently. It was extremely unstable, as if there was a great terror that was about to appear. It's him, you son of a bitch. He's still alive. Bastard, you still dare to come out? Kid, let go of my control. I will kill him. The Lord of the Realm was enraged. His face was savage, and his killing intent soared to the heavens. It's here, it's really here. This king has waited thousands of years for you. A deep voice resounded. It was as if the entire world owed him. As for you two, a bunch of trash. A waste should have the consciousness of being a waste. However, the utilization of waste is still effective. If you hadn't been at the front attracting the attention of those people, how could this king wait until today? From the void, the voice became more and more berserk, resounding through heaven and earth for thousands of miles. Long Fei's gaze was also tightly locked onto a direction deep in darkness. He was waiting. The system would definitely not give out a prompt for no reason. This quest had a special reward. In Long Fei's worldview, all the quests had to be swept away, and all the bosses had to go berserk. Whiz! The moment it appeared, a golden light flashed as it filled the entire space. Is there a boss coming out? Long Fei was excited. Ding! Abyss Demon Prison has collapsed. Player Long Fei's strength has recovered. When he finished, Long Fei felt as if he had been given a new lease of life. I can finally use it. Long Fei moved his body with a ka-ka sound. Since my strength has returned, let's begin. Long Fei's eyes shone with excitement. Boss. An extremely strong boss. The Abyss Demon Prison was originally a special quest scene, but before the quest was even completed, the boss had already appeared. His strength had already returned. Furthermore, he had completed the mission in 3 years. From this, it could be seen that the system was giving Long Fei a chance to escape, considering his power. However, is that possible? Escape from the boss? Sorry, it doesn't exist. Death God's possession. God of Heaven Madman. A great killing weapon of the circulatory cycle revolution. Come on, let's go berserk. Long Fei kept the fire. He felt that the mission was not that simple. There was a use in having a fire. And then he flew into the sky and chopped down with his sword. Boom! The heavenly god's berserk strength was pushed to the limit, and with the addition of the powerful heaven-revolving, slaughtering weapon, Long Fei would definitely fight until the end. However, the next moment, a huge miss appeared out of thin air. Long Fei was stunned. This was the first time this had happened. It was unprecedented. The heavenly god Maniac was the most powerful killing technique in his hands. It surpassed the 13th rank to kill people, a simple, violent technique. But now he directly hit Mississippi Impossible. Let's go again. The Empyrean god furiously locked onto him once more, then descended upon him once more. Miss. Again. It was still miss. What cultivation level is this fellow at? Long Fei turned and asked. Millions of years ago, he was an ultimate supreme peak realm. Right now, in this abyss, although his power has not increased, it has not retreated either. The current him is at the peak of the super-perfection. The master of the devil, Origin, said. Now, they were extremely obedient, answering whatever Long Fei wanted to say. He has already exceeded the killing range of the heavenly god fanatic, and the continuous damage he received means that he is even more abnormal than the undead lord. This boss, it should be great. Long Fei was a little confused, but he was actually very excited in his heart. Haha, do you only have this kind of power? Trash. I had originally thought that a person who could break through the infernal prison would be extremely powerful. I never would have thought that he would actually be trash. You are now a waste camp. Deep in the unknown abyss, the sound came again. Then, a figure appeared. Golden light flashed with incomparable brilliance. This was the boss's light. Along with the light appeared a palm strike from Meteon. The palm seemed to contain the power of countless worlds, crashing down with a loud bang. It was irresistible. He couldn't take it. Long Fei felt his mind being crushed. This kind of feeling was the same as if he had used the pubes of strength. This kind of power was completely unable to be defended against. Boom! With just one palm, Long Fei was crushed under the pressure, and a deep crater was formed in the abyss. I really don't understand. This sort of trash can actually destroy the infernal prison. The sound became clearer, and the turmoil in the void became louder and louder. Soon, a figure walked out. This person was wearing a python robe with a divine character on his chest. As soon as he appeared, the entire Abyss Demon prison became restless. The 999 leaders of the plane watched the figure walk out with faces full of anger. The atmosphere was stifling as waves of killing intent burst forth from the planar overseer. Zhong Lingxiu, you bastard. Even a bastard like you would dream of unifying 10,000 worlds. Today, either you die or I die. The Lord of the Planar was enraged. You're courting death. Zhong Lingxiu's face turned cold as a light glinted in her eyes. Then, a streak of purple light burst out. Puffed. He was lost, and his head fell. The leaders of the 3 planes were all killed. Too strong. As expected of the boss, Long Fei exclaimed in surprise. That palm strike just now had caused Long Fei's health point to fall to the bottom. If it wasn't for the fact that he possessed the body of the god of death, he would have been instantly killed. However, why did the boss attack the planar lords? Could it be a system bug? Long Fei had doubts in his heart, but he was mostly excited. The stronger the boss, the more likely it was to become a monster. If looks could kill, even Empyrean Hu would not have this kind of method. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the master of the weak water level. Experience gained, 333,333 points. Holy source value, 200,000. Striking value, 1 point. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the Lord of the Soaring Sky Realm. Experience gained, 333,333 points. Holy source value, 200,000. Striking value, 1 point. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the Lord of the Beacon Fire Plane. Experience gained, 333,333 points. Holy source value, 200,000. Striking value, 1 point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the power of water. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Fire Beacon's power. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Fire Beacon's power. But at this moment, the system suddenly sounded out a series of system outbreaks, causing Long Fei to be baffled. What's going on? If the Lord of the Planar is dead, I can gain experience as well? I didn't do them any harm. What's going on? Long Fei couldn't wrap his head around it. This was definitely abnormal. Long Fei's heart skipped a beat, and he immediately checked the status of the quest. He discovered that it was still 999% of the quest, and there was no change. In other words, the deaths of the leaders of these planes. It didn't affect him at all. However, there was a change in the description of the mission. Before, it was to save the Lord of the Plane, but now all the Lords of the Plane have been freed from the prison. A certain concept had already been completed. There was no change in the mission. Long Fei could not understand all of this, but it was already unimportant. The idea moved and said, God's Pavilion, these are all the masters of the plane. Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, God's Pavilion laughed excitedly. Don't worry, I won't let any of the dead people go. His face was full of vulgarity, as if he was a perverted pervert. He was even more excited than Long Fei. Abnormal, Long Fei muttered. He looked at his current quest description, but there was only one. Exterminate this boss called Zhong Shun Xiao. Long Fei's eyes turned cold as he looked into the ruins. Long Fei's eyes turned cold as he looked into the ruins. This king is a god of boundary. So what if you have the power of the plane? So what? You don't have any power now, do you? The current you is just a piece of trash. If you can't kill me, then I'll kill you. In the midst of the ruins that were already annihilated, streaks of red golden light burst forth. This guy, he's also a creature from the demon prison. There's actually a striking attribute. Long Fei locked his gaze on his Zhong Shenxiao. He hadn't expected that at this moment, Zhong Shenxiao would go berserk. The explosion of the planar overseer's power had reduced his health by less than half. However, the explosive effect created a virtual defense. Basically, it was the same as the virtual amount of health that did not receive any damage. You must be toying with me. Long Fei was leaning on a fire poker, feeling depressed in his heart. The instantly kill limit of Death Reaper was that its HP had to be lower than half. Zhong Lingxiu's HP had already reached the limit from the previous explosion. She just didn't expect that she would suddenly go berserk. She never expected that she would actually explode with a virtual blood volume. Long Fei felt his balls ache. Forget about striking attribute. They even specifically dropped a virtual blood volume. System, you did it on purpose, right? Long Fei held onto the great killing weapon that could destroy the heavens. He felt helpless. He had originally planned to use the Death God's Reaper to finish off the boss, but he didn't expect the boss to be so berserk and have a mutation in its attributes. Even if it was the reaping of death itself, it would be of no use. Haha, kid, I'm not going to die. The current you is already pitifully small and insignificant. If I were to do anything, I would be able to send you to heaven. Zhong Lingxiu's eyes were blood red, reflecting the light of the void. The entire world of darkness was dyed crimson, an exceptionally horrifying sight to behold. Those blood-red eyes even had a hint of Bam. He was an arrogant, lawless, pretentious criminal who showed off his skills to the best of his ability. Fuck you. If you have the ability, then kill me. Long Fei replied. Brat, you are courting death. Zhong Lingxiu's figure suddenly began to fade away as she flew into the sky. Its speed was so fast that even Long Fei was unable to catch it. Bringing up a killing move? Then, let's see who's stronger. I don't believe that I won't kill you. Long Fei made up his mind. Ding! Target locked. Long Fei's idea moved and similarly shot into the sky. Zhong Shenxiu descended from Tian'er as Long Fei soared into the sky. However, the moment Long Fei took to the air, a huge figure flew out from behind him. It covered the entire sky and brandished a black sickle in his hand, flying straight towards Zhong Shenxiu. Destroy! Long Fei shouted crazily. The sickle of the god of death slashed across Zhong Lingxiu's throat. Walala! The power of the sickle of the god of death erupted, and the power of death engulfed the entire sky. At the same time, the power of the Reaper also disappeared without a trace. Gulp! Gulp! Zhong Shenxiu held onto his neck in astonishment, his eyes filled with nervousness. Long Fei's strength was impossible to defend against. He was already certain that Long Fei had no chance of retaliating. He was just about to kill them. However, he did not expect that the scythe that came out of nowhere would almost cut off his information. So. Zhong Lingxiu's aura was constantly weakening. Her health was almost at its end. All that was left was the distance of his virtual blood. Brat! You! Zhong Lingxiu was still alive, expelling the power of death from her body. Long Fei looked at Zhong Shenxiu. He really did not die, but it was more or less time for him to die. Now, the feeling of being wrapped up in death is not good. Long Fei said, Zhong Shenxiu, I'm so King lucky. I thought your striking attribute was overbearing, but it turns out that it's only to this extent. Long Fei frowned and smiled. The condition for Reaper's harvest was half of its HP. Originally, Long Fei thought that this time it would be impossible to kill Zhong Shenxiu, but he didn't expect it. The Reaper skill was a direct, true attack. As long as it was not the actual amount of blood, he would ignore everything else. Of course, if it weren't for that tiny bit of virtual blood that Zhong Lingxiu violently released, she would already be dead by now. Long Fei looked at the top of Zhong Shenxiu's head, which only had less than 1,000 HP left. His pupils contracted. The great killing weapon, the circulatory cycle revolution, appeared in his hands, transforming into a wolf teeth rod. Damn, do you know? The most disgusting things are old things like you. He began plotting against me tens of thousands of years ago. Do I owe you anything? Do I deserve it? I won't use my mace to shatter your chrysanthemum today. I won't be surnamed Long. Long Fei raised his wolf-fanged mace and madly attacked Zhong Shenxiu, engulfing him. Damn it, I am the god of boundary of the Yang God realm. You dare to kill me? Zhong Lingxiu was infuriated. She simply didn't have the strength to fight back. Just the death energy in his body made him powerless to dispel, and he was powerless to resist Long Fei's attacks. You don't dare? There is nothing in the world that I, Long Fei, would not dare to do. I don't care about your Yang God of boundary. In my eyes, you are just a boss. Do you understand? Boss, if you don't die, then someone else will. Long Fei frantically struck out. The wolf teeth rod in his hand flashed with a cold light as he stabbed it towards Zhong Shenxiu's chrysanthemum. Roar! I want you to die. I want you to die. An expert of the Sun God realm will definitely not let you off. Zhong Lingxiu's health had been completely drained. There was only a little bit of health left. In fact, he didn't even need to attack again. He knew that if he lost blood, he would die. Expert? I'm just afraid that they won't come. Long Fei disapproved. What was an expert? It was at most a boss. For bosses, the more the better. Now explode. Long Fei kept the huge killing machine and waited quietly. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing the Sun God's God of boundary. Zhong Shenxiu obtained 1 million experience points, 1 million holy source points, striking value, 1 point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Sun God's Pride art. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Yang God Sword. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Sun God's Cloak. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Sun God Armor. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Sun God's Boots. The more Long Fei listened, the more excited he became. This is indeed a super boss. Wait, I still have striking value. System, release striking value. Long Fei immediately said, if good steel was used on blades, naturally striking value would not miss out on the super boss. Originally, his striking value had already been exhausted when he was being chased by the Divine Space family. However, the suicidal attack that he had just received from the 999 Planar Lords had actually allowed him to finish accumulating his striking value. But at this moment, the system had fallen into silence, as if it did not hear Long Fei's orders. F***CK. Did they swallow my striking value? Long Fei's pupils contracted. He swallowed his saliva and rubbed his hands. The system beep rang. Ding. 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 What a pleasant tone it was. Long Fei listened excitedly in his heart. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Sun God of Boundary badge. Congratulations, player, for obtaining a special reward from a system. This is your first chance to enter Mysterious God. Dream on to the divine edge. It can disperse a strand of the divine soul and allow it to enter the Yang God realm. Ding! Congratulations, player leveled up, current level. Ancient Almighty level 2. Experience 6033328/1000000000. Just as Long Fei finished speaking, the system notification chimed in. Upgraded? F***CK, 10 billion to rise by 1 grade. System, why don't you just die? Long Fei looked at the series of 0 experience points, his heart at a loss for words. Currently, his level was too high. He had no experience in killing monsters, so even if it was a boss, he would only give 100 million. In other words, if he wanted to level up, he would have to kill at least 100 bosses at the same level as Zhongling Xiu. I wonder when I'll be able to drop another level +1. If I can clear another instance dungeon, that would be even more amazing. Long Fei said in his heart. He continued reading. Dream on Shinji? Wasn't he a god of fiction? Could there really be such a cultivation technique? Or could there be such a coincidence in the Yang God realm? Long Fei was a little astonished in his heart. He had a nagging feeling that the system was capable of doing anything. Who cares who he is? So what if it's the Yang God realm? I'll still overturn it. Long Fei muttered in his heart. God's Pavilion. Don't forget the Sun God of Boundaries soul. After the system's voice completely disappeared, Long Fei finished counting the spoils of his battle and suddenly reacted. Presumably, the 999 Planar Lords. This elementary scholar Zhong was a true super fighter. In fact, his individual combat abilities were even stronger than that of the Undead Lord and the Great Sky Sovereign Huwu. Adding him into the mix, Long Fei already had 3 super puppets that were at the peak of the super great complete realm. If he walked out of this unknown land, wouldn't he sweep through everything? God's Pavilion chuckled. Haha, I've already kept it. However, the level is too high. To reconstruct the body will take some time. There's no time. You have to speed up the process. Long Fei's eyes moved, releasing a touch of pressure. God's Pavilion became silent. Long Fei was too lazy to bother with it. After that, Long Fei opened up the mission window to check on the system quest that was triggered this time. Mission progress completed 1000/1000. Even so, the system still did not prompt him. It's clearly already completed? Is there anything but a mistake? Long Fei hesitated. This mission was related to his life and fortune. If he could not complete it, the system would punish him and he would die. If it was an external factor, Long Fei was naturally not afraid. But the system, as a skeleton player, Long Fei knew that the system was above everything else. No matter how amazing a player was, it was impossible for them to defeat the NPC. No, there's still an extension to this mission. Suddenly, Long Fei noticed that the quest progress bar was not only filled with numbers, there was also a color difference. In front of him was gray, the black at the back. In front of him, only the last digit gradually turned black. Master, don't worry. As long as I don't die, I will do my best. Now, the body of the lord of this plane has been rebuilt. Just at this time, the god's pavilion suddenly said. Long Fei was startled and immediately regained his senses. Save the planar lord? Recast his body? As it turned out, the real crux of the matter was here. The only way to complete the mission was to reconstruct the bodies of the lords of these planes and revive them. All right, forge out the bodies of the leaders of these planes for me. You can freely absorb the energy within my pubes. What I want is the results. Before the god of boundary fights, you must definitely create this group of bandits for me. Long Fei said firmly. With regard to this quest, that punishment was death. Long Fei still did not dare to probe. This was equivalent to a death, sword hanging above his head. The earlier he removed it, the better. At this time, outside the endless void, a pair of eyes was staring fixedly at him. Umph! The owner of the eye let out a cold snort, and then the entire world was filled with thunder, as if the sky itself was furious. Even if it's trash, it's not like anyone can touch my things. Don't let me know who it is. The owner of the voice said, angrily disappearing into the void. In another place, the Emperor Xian looked at them with a similar expression. What is it? Who is it? Could it be that Long Fei? No, that's impossible. How could his cultivation possibly survive there? That sort of sequence, even I cannot avoid it. Emperor Xian muttered to himself, his expression becoming darker and darker. The death of the two sky sovereigns had made him uneasy, not because Undead Lord and Sky Sovereign Hu were his brothers, but because the two of them had died in Long Fei's hands. Long Fei, was it really my fate to be the bane of my attacks? The unknown region of the primordial chaos. Deep within the primordial chaos, countless amounts of chaos energy swirled around, changing constantly in the blink of an eye. A figure quietly appeared. Did you break the abyss demon prison? If that's the case, does it mean that the fruit I want will arrive soon? This figure stopped, his entire body surrounded by the aura of primal chaos. He looked into the depths of the primal chaos and spoke indifferently. If that's the case, then the entire unknown region of the primordial chaos should be in an uproar. As the man spoke, his hand gradually released a golden light. With a slight movement, this golden light cut through the chaotic space and fell into an unknown place. At this time, Long Fei had already walked out of the abyss. Seeing the light of day once again, Long Fei laid down on a patch of grass. Fuck, I finally walked out of that dark place. Fortunately, this is an unknown region of primal chaos. It's not much different from the divine space. Otherwise, how the F *CK would I be able to level up? Long Fei said to himself. He had originally thought that the unknown places in the primordial chaos would be extremely mysterious. But after walking out of the Abyss Demon Prison, he realized that this place was no different from the divine space. The spiritual energy was still dense, with traces of chaotic force within. Whiz! At this moment, a golden light flashed in the sky. The golden light was extremely fast, and it emanated an aura of endless chaos. Long Fei suddenly sat up. Is it some sort of treasure? Long Fei said softly. He thought about when he had first entered the universal realm, and the power that came from the fall of the Xian nationality's generals. Haha, as long as there's a treasure, there will definitely be conflict. Wait for me. Endless experience, boss. I'm coming. Long Fei was suddenly in high spirits, as if he had been injected with chicken blood. Very quickly, a distance of several thousand kilometers flashed by. Long Fei could also sense that the chaotic aura ahead was growing stronger and stronger. It was at this moment, however, that the air rippled as numerous figures appeared. There were men and women among them, and their cultivation bases were extremely powerful. They were all at least at the level of ancient powers. TSK, There really are people who don't know the meaning of death. Not only did he not know who he was, but he also had the audacity to attack a chaos treasure. How reckless. Zhang Yu, say less. A man said with disdain. Just as he finished speaking, the woman beside him frowned and pulled him a little. What's there to be afraid of? It's nothing more than trash from the second level of the ancient era. This garbage dares to covet the treasures of chaos? If this isn't courting death, then what is? Zhang Yu said disapprovingly. Long Fei raised his head slightly and looked over. Originally, he had wanted to ignore it, but the person in front of him could scold him with words like trash and trash made Long Fei's heart burn with fury. What are you looking at? I'm talking about you. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and *CK off. Don't be an eyesore here. Zhang Yu said. Long Fei's eyes became colder and colder, looking at Zhang Yu. Without a doubt, Zhang Yu had been blacklisted for his death. In the next moment, Long Fei moved, and his figure instantly disappeared. Ha! A crisp sound filled the air. A crisp sound filled the air. Boom! Zhang Yu was sent flying with a slap. His body was like a kite with its string cut, drawing a perfect arc in the air. It crashed into the ancient tree in the distance. Ka! The giant tree broke into pieces, and Zhang Yu's body fell heavily onto the ground. The eyes of the people next to him were glazed. He had never expected for such a scene to occur. How dare you? You actually dare to touch Zhang Yu? This brat is dead for sure. He's merely at the second level of the ancient era. How dare he make a move? This is too old. I have a feeling that Zhang Yu will eat this kid alive. The people who were originally Zhang Yu's companions all opened their mouths, looking as if they were just watching a show. Who is Zhang Yu? Within 1,000 miles, the name of the Zhang family was like the sun in the sky. Zhang Yu, get up and kill him. Otherwise, don't say that these brothers look down on you. Right, don't lose face for our Qianyang city's 3 great families. Also, Sister Ro is here to watch. A few people mocked. Brat, are you courting death? Today, I will let you know the price you have paid for provoking me. Boom! Zhang Yu soared into the sky. However, just as he soared into the sky, a figure dropped down from the sky. *CK. Lousy gave you face, right? You a popinjay? Are you that awesome? You can do whatever you want? Is it easy for me to find a boss from 1,000 miles away? You haven't stopped yet, and you want to listen to the feeling of your presence in this show? Pow! Long Fei's figure landed, and he once again slapped his face. Long Fei was currently very unhappy. Just as he walked out of the Abyss Demon Prison, attracted by the aura of this chaos treasure, before he even reached the place, he encountered Zhang Yu's amazing presence. Originally, Long Fei didn't want to care about it, but he didn't think that Zhang Yu would take even more advantage. Trash? Trash? Since you want to show off, I'll let you know what it means to slap your face. Email protected. A Long Fei's slap caused Zhang Yu to be thoroughly enraged. Zhang Yu shouted crazily. His cultivation was exposed. He was actually at the 5th level of the ancient era. A trash of the 2nd level of the ancient supreme elder. Today, I will let you know what it means to wish you had died. Zhang Yu drew his sword and swept it across 3,000 miles. Super artifact? Are all the people in the unknown lands so rich? Any young master in a large clan would have such a weapon? Long Fei was not shocked. In the instant Zhang Yu pulled out his sword, Long Fei held the heavenly revolving murderer in his hand. Haha, what did I see? A fire poker? Even if the mountain villagers are poor, they can still be used as weapons. They even dare to go head-to-head against Zhang Yu's divine sword of mountain mist. They don't know if they will live or die. TSK. How boring, how boring. I thought it was a fierce dragon crossing the river, so it turns out to be a brainless thing. The group of hedonistic sons at the side all spoke out. Only the woman who had tried to stop Zhang Yu before frowned, unable to bear the sight. Zhang Yu, forget it. Yu said, Sister Ro, this is your mistake. If Zhang Yu forgets about it, then from now on, the 3 great families of our Qianyang city will lose all face. That's right. A wild brat from who knows where actually dares to ride on our heads and behave so atrociously. If he doesn't die, will we still have the face to do so? Big sister Uro, don't be too kind. This kind of trash might be wasting air. Beside Uro, a slightly younger girl spoke. Her eyes were ice cold as she stared at Zhang Yu's sword attack. In her eyes, there was a hint of anticipation. All of you. Uro wanted to say something, but she hesitated. Her face turned even colder. But at this time, it was too late for her to stop it. Zhang Yu's sword had already landed. Swish! The blade energy swept out, shocking the world. The strength of the super artifact was extremely strong. As the sword beam swept past, it caused the world to freeze, and it went silent for 1,000 miles. All the birds and beasts were silenced at this moment. They did not dare to reveal their own auras for fear of being implicated. Brat, go to hell. Swish! The long sword fell, but the next moment, the malevolence on Zhang Yu's face disappeared and was replaced with astonishment. The sword did not explode, nor did it explode. Long Fei was even more unharmed. The long sword in Zhang Yu's hand was blocked off by the burning fire rod in Long Fei's hand, unable to cut through it all. This is impossible. This is the Mountain Mist Divine Sword. How could you possibly block it? Zhang Yu was agitated and his speech was slurred. At this moment, his thoughts were no longer on revenge, but rather running away. For Long Fei to actually be able to resist the Divine Sword, then how strong was Long Fei's true strength? Although Zhang Yu was a popinjay, he was an idiot. In a flash, Zhang Yu turned around and ran. He even gave up on the Misty Mountain Sword and turned around to save them. It's too late to leave now. The anger in Long Fei's heart had not yet subsided. How could he let Zhang Yu leave just like that? Come back here. Long Fei extended his hand out. The great killing weapon had already turned into a rope, directly bringing Zhang Yu back. Boom! Long Fei's leg flew over and trampled Zhang Yu under his feet. Aren't you awesome? Do you look like you're the boss of the sky? The unknown land belongs to your family? Your father is Emperor Xian? Long Fei said coldly. He exerted a little strength under his feet, causing Zhang Yu to be unable to endure it any longer and his pupils to nearly burst apart. Let me go. If you dare to touch me, there will be endless trouble. As long as you let me go, I can guarantee that I won't cause you any trouble in the future. Zhang Yu said with difficulty. It was too hard to bear. He was now regretting that he had failed to steal a chicken or eat rice. He had wanted to show off his skills in front of Uro, but to think that he would be reduced to such a state. He was in a dilemma. He could only beg for mercy. Although Long Fei's cultivation was only at the second level of the ancient realm, he felt that if he did not beg for mercy, Long Fei would really kill him. Spare you? All right, now tell me, who is the trash? Who's the trash? Long Fei said coldly. To step on the face was too familiar. This kind of second-generation martial artists who were even more ambitious than the heavens, when used on them, had experienced many trials and tribulations. I am trash. It was I who was blind and offended you. Zhang Yu didn't even dare to refute. Seeing that, Long Fei retracted his power. You're a smart person, Long Fei said. He had truly developed killing intent just now. However, just as he was about to attack, a strand of resistance came from the dragon scale within his body. This was Long Baitian's power. Stop me from killing him? Long Batian, what are you trying to do? Long Fei remained calm and collected. Taking advantage of the situation, Zhang Yu had long since escaped and returned to the side of Uro and the others. His steps halted slightly as he glanced at Uro. He turned around and left. Trash, he really is trash. How embarrassing for our family. The Zhang clan is only mediocre. It's not the same thing, but I'm not happy right now. Within the boundaries of Thousand Sun City, there is no one that this father can hope to see be even more arrogant than me. Although Zhang Yu had left, the rest of them were speaking coldly and releasing their killing intent. Enough. Uro turned and walked to the front. The rest of the people looked at each other. Brat, you're lucky this time. If I were you, I would obediently move away from you right now. Don't think that you are qualified to appear in front of us just because you injured a piece of trash. When everyone left, Long Fei did not bother about them. When everyone left, Long Fei did not bother about them. Right now, his mind was completely focused on the draconic scales from before. Ever since the last time he used Long Baishan's power, and the first time he used his contract's power to kill Huwu, the dragon scale seemed to have fallen into a deep sleep. Long Batian seemed to have disappeared from the face of the earth, and never bothered to negotiate with him. Even in the Abyss Demon Prison, he still didn't show himself. But just now, it was to prevent him from killing Zhang Yu. This made Long Fei a little confused. Could it be that there is some sort of relationship between the Zhang family and Long Batian? Long Fei suddenly thought. But no matter how Long Fei provoked it, the dragon scale did not change at all. Boom! At this moment, celestial light filled the entire area. At this moment, the aura of chaos had reached an unimaginable level. It's out. Long Fei did not stop and rushed to the place where the aura of chaos exploded. When Long Fei arrived and saw the light, he was completely confused. Wasn't this the Abyss Demon Prison? Although the infernal prison had collapsed, the abyss was still there. Long Fei could even determine that the place where the first light of primal chaos exploded was the place where Zhong Shunxiu had exploded. F***, I lost out. How could I forget to search for the boss nest? Long Fei was upset. Since it came out from the boss nest, it's mine. Long Fei made a decision. If he did not take the gift, he would be blamed for it. Yes, this is mine. Long Fei was even more sure. In an instant, Long Fei divided the area and defined everyone who came to fight for this primal chaos immortal treasure as potential enemies. Before, they had been passers-by. Right now, in Long Fei's eyes, it was a series of experiences. Mosquitoes' legs were also meat. If there were many ants, they could bite an elephant to death. There were at least tens of thousands of people in this group. Even if one person only received 10,000 experience points, it would still be worth more than 1 billion. Soon, more and more people joined the crowd, filling up both the inside and the outside. But no one came forward. Is it the abyss of sin? How could the treasure of primal chaos explode from inside? Didn't they say that the abyss of sin exiled a group of extremely destitute, violent, and chaotic place criminals? Could it be that after thousands of years, these criminals have not died yet? Could it be that these criminals want to rush out of the abyss and create a disguise? Everyone guessed as their faces changed slightly. Even if it was a chaos treasure, in the face of life and death, they would still hesitate. Get out of the way, you bunch of bastards. With just you alone, you still dare to covet the treasures of chaos. At this moment, a voice sounded. Long Fei's face changed. This voice was extremely familiar. It belonged to the group of foppish young masters who had wanted to make a move on him. So. The crowd automatically moved away. It was obvious that this person's origin was not simple. Just a single sentence was enough to make these people automatically step back. They didn't dare to disobey at all. It's Zhao Hao. Young Master Zhao is here. The geniuses of the 3 great clans of Thousand Sun City are indeed extraordinary. And the one beside him is Qin Wuyue, the genius of the Qin family. The crowd was in chaos, especially those natives. When they saw the 2 coming, they didn't dare to say a single word and made way for them. Qin family? The Zhao family? Long Fei thought lightly in his heart, thinking that it would be best for the 2 of them to be tactful. Otherwise, his big killing weapon would just happen to accumulate a lot of killing power. Zhao Tiantian and Qin Wuyue followed one after the other as they walked to the edge of the abyss. Sister Ro, it's up to you now. Qin Wuyue's eyes flickered. Looking into the abyss, he was already a little impatient. That's right, little Sister Ro, as long as you can take out this treasure, you'll be a distinguished guest of our Zhao family. At that time, your grandfather's matter will be decided with a single sentence. Zhao Hao said in an anxious tone, as if he was urging Yu Ro to act quickly. Whoosh! Yu Ro clenched her fists, a look of helplessness flashing across her eyes. However, in the end, she slowly walked to the edge of the abyss. He performed an incantation gesture, and set up a spell formation. Swish! The movements of Yu Ro's hands became faster and faster. Beams of resplendent light appeared out of nowhere, rising from the ground and finally forming a web in the air above the abyss. Puff! Yu Ro spat out a mouthful of blood as the elemental energy within her body was depleted. However, whether it was Zhao Hao or Qin Wuyue, neither of them said anything. They looked at Yu Ro with a bit of dread in their eyes. Hurry, continue. The sky net has been formed. Hurry up and refine it. By then, the chaos treasure can be pulled out. Zhao Haitian urged. His greed was clearly shown on his face. He didn't even bother to disguise himself. Puff puff. Yu Ro gritted her teeth and persevered, but the light in the abyss continued to intertwine with each other. The more concentrated the light became, the more she was exhausted. In the end, she used her own life to support herself. Sister Ro, think of your grandfather. If he did well today, then anything would be fine. Otherwise, you know the consequences. Qin Wuyue said viciously. But just at this time, Long Fei could not bear to continue watching. Yu Ro had twice spoken out to stop these people from attacking him. Although Long Fei didn't need it, he had to admit that this was a kind-hearted girl. Two men, if they wanted the treasure, wouldn't they take it themselves? You're counting on a woman to help you set up the formation. What son of a noble family? Long Fei took a step forward and said. He hated those who bullied women the most. Especially now. He was using a woman's kin to threaten her. And it made Long Fei even more shameless. Long Fei had always been a loyal person. Let's see who's the best then. However, if he were to meet his own brother and sister, he would have to fight to the death. Either I die, or your whole family dies. Now that the girl had experienced what had happened, Long Fei felt the same and directly opened his mouth to gobble up the hatred. Shwa shwa shwa. Immediately, everyone's gaze concentrated on Long Fei. Of course, his eyes were filled with pity. This brat is courting death. He still dares to provoke the Qin and Zhao families within the boundaries of Thousand Sun City. He is simply courting death. Hey, what a fool. Who the hell dares to talk about kindness in this world? What a fool. I feel like this boy will be very miserable. The surrounding people all said in a cold voice. I think he's a lecherous guy who wants to be a hero and save the beauty. Unfortunately, I offended an iron plate. You're right, but what a pity. This Yu Ro is indeed a beauty. There were not many people in Thousand Sun City that could match up to him. AI, what a pity. If only I could enjoy the night first. Haha, maybe not. What if this woman didn't die? If we lose our value and get abandoned by the Zhao and Qin families, wouldn't we be doing whatever we want? There were also some who had a lustful look in their eyes as they stared at Yu Ro. Long Fei looked over coldly and saw that all of them were already on Long Fei's blacklist. He was not a saint, but he had never shown mercy to such a scum. Right at this moment, Zhao Hao and Qin Wuyue looked towards Long Fei. It's you? I just spared your life, and you actually dare to appear in front of me? It just so happens that I can kill you right now. Zhao Hao said coldly. Stop. 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 As the beautiful voice rang out, a look of agony appeared on Yu Ro's face as she felt extremely weak. Her hair had already turned white. But she still opened her mouth to stop him. If you dare hurt him, I won't be doing this array. When the chaos treasure is born, it will definitely escape into the void. You won't be able to get anything at all. Yu Ro threatened. Hearing this, Zhao Hao and Qin Wuyue looked at each other. All right, for your sake, spare his dog life. However, if the formation is unsuccessful, you should know the consequences. Qin Wuyue said coldly. Yu Ro gritted her teeth as determination flashed past her eyes. She actually directly burned her life force. With the burning of her soft life force, the sky net above the chasm became tighter and tighter. In an instant, it covered the entire sky. Long Fei was also a little astonished at this time. Yu Ro once again spoke out to save him. His original intention was to stop Yu Ro, but he didn't expect the change in his demeanor to intensify instead. What the hell is going on? Long Fei did not know whether to laugh or cry. With just the people in front of him, Long Fei did not care at all. Ding! At that moment, the system suddenly rang out. Trigger task: rescue Euro and acquire the treasure of primordial chaos. Mission level S. Task reward: experience 100 million points. Euro's affability level 100 points. The special reward from the system is 1 time. Time 1 month. Mission penalty: level drop by 2 levels. The system notifications continuously sounded out. Trigger the quest? Long Fei was startled, but immediately revealed a happy expression. A special reward. The system's special rewards had never disappointed Long Fei, but as long as it was a special reward, Long Fei would never let it go. The special reward from the system and a mission of the Planar Emperor are equivalent to 2 special rewards. Instantly, the passion in Long Fei's heart soared, as if he was on stimulants. Also, a affability level of 100? Didn't this mean that he could do whatever he wanted? Sister Ro, this is the first time I've met such a soft girl. In his mind, Long Fei had turned into a devil and was laughing maniacally. A man. Sometimes we have to deal with physical needs. Haha, great. Originally, I wanted to quietly make a fortune. But now, in front of this mission, everything is useless. Looks like I can't keep a low profile anymore. Long Fei thought as he took a step forward. He arrived in front of Euro and threw out a punch. Gotcha! Under the pressure of a Euro formation, the net that had just been formed instantly shattered and turned into powder without a single trace of its existence. Euro's vision went blurry and her blood started to flow back into her body, causing her to faint on the spot. Long Fei felt a little awkward. He could naturally feel the disbelief in Euro's eyes after her last sentence. But now that Euro was unconscious, even if Long Fei wanted to explain, he had no way to do so. Ah, boy, you're courting death. Damn it. It's all for naught, kid. I want your life. Qin Weiyue and Zhao Hao were enraged at the same time. The excitement in his eyes turned into anger in an instant. One more step. Just one more step. Once the formation was formed, the primal chaos treasure would become theirs. But now, the formation had shattered, and everything vanished into nothingness. You want my life? Are you worthy? Long Fei disapproved and said coldly. Originally, Long Fei did not plan to let these people go, whoever shot them would. Now that he had triggered the system's quest, Long Fei had no hesitation. What an arrogant brat. He's not only stupid, he's also out of his mind. An ant doesn't want to live. How dare you act arrogantly in front of the Zhao and Qin families with such little cultivation base? Now that the formation has been broken and the 2 geniuses have been angered, that brat is doomed to die. Die? They were all taken advantage of by him. The crowd retreated with a loud bang. The killing intent on the stage continued to condense, as they had already predicted that in the next moment, Long Fei would be smashed into pieces. There's no need for young master to act. I'll finish him off. Suddenly, from the crowd, a burly man walked out and swung his axe. You're courting death. Long Fei's flaming rod appeared once again, and he smashed over. Rumble, rumble, rumble. A huge explosion occurred. Smoke and dust flew about, covering the skies and covering the earth as they dispersed. Oh no, my hand. Everyone was puzzled. Smoke and dust covered their line of sight, so they weren't sure what had happened. But now, why did the burly man let out a blood-curdling screech? Isn't the scream supposed to be Long Fei's? Immediately, someone used their cultivation to pierce through the smoke and see what was inside. But upon seeing it, he was instantly shocked. Long Fei hugged Euro with a relaxed and carefree expression. However, the large man's axe had shattered into pieces, and not even a complete piece could be found. As for the big man himself, he was wailing on the ground, in pain for the rest of his life. If you want to be a lackey, you have to find a good master, Long Fei said indifferently, as he smashed down with the poker in his hand. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing. The reward is 100 experience points. Holy Source S. 1 point. Striking value. 1 point. Long Fei stood there in a daze. not for anything else. It was because of his system's prompt. 100 experience points, 1 point of holy source value. System, come out. I promise I won't beat you to death. Long Fei angrily asked the system. Even if this burly man was weak, he was at least at the second level of the ancient supreme realm. But there was no response from the system. F***CK. There will be a day when I find the system's designer. I'll ask him if he can still give me some gaming experience. Long Fei muttered in his heart. Immediately after, Long Fei turned his gaze towards the crowd. Who else? Didn't they all want to see me die? Come on. Come on. Didn't you want to curry favor with the Zhao family? Kill me. Long Fei's hand that was holding onto the burning fire rod released a flash of light, directly transforming into a large blade, releasing a cold aura. Brat, you're too arrogant. Merely at the second level of the ancient era's immortal pond, the daddy will be able to kill you with a flip of his hand. A effeminate-looking man walked out, pinching his fingers. It's In Kuei, the In Kuei of the flower-plucking Buddha. Legend has it that they're almost at the level of an ancient almighty 6th grade master. These kids are dead for sure. The bystanders spoke again, their voices filled with anticipation. Kid, did you hear that? They all want you to die. To be able to die at the hands of my In Kuei is also your good fortune. In Kuei said, where the hell did all this nonsense come from? Don't you know that Lousy hates In Yang people the most? Long Fei said, his blade swept across. Whiz! Gulp! A head fell to the ground, neat and nimble. How awesome do you think you could be to come out with such a high profile? It was also a piece of trash. However, the system is at least at the 6th level of the ancient era. It shouldn't be so inhumane as to be the same person, right? Long Fei thought. Faintly, Long Fei was still looking forward to it, because he was afraid. Right now, the experience required to level up was too much. The one that he had just killed didn't even have a single ounce of experience. Ding! Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for getting killed. Obtained 1,000,000 experience, 10,000 holy source points, 1 striking value point. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for getting killed. Obtained 1,000,000 experience, 10,000 holy source points, 1 striking value point. Congratulations to the player for obtaining corrupt blood. Fortunately, the system still has a conscience. It did not let me down. Even though it was still the same, at least he still had 1,000,000 experience points. Blood of Decay. This was a power that was previously unknown. Could it also be the power of a blood vein? Long Fei immediately opened up the system to check. Decayed blood. The function of the blood of living beings in the unknown land is unknown. As Long Fei looked at the system description, his heart was filled with millions of alpacas. It was dropped by you, and now it turned out to be unknown? Just like how an old master's masterpiece was placed in front of you, but you only saw the most evil mosaics. No code, and you still need to be high definition. Do you understand? Long Fei was startled and retracted his consciousness. Right now, the most important thing was to solve this problem. A large wave of experience was waiting to be reaped. There was nothing that could not be solved by leveling up. If there is, then one more level. Is there anyone else who would like to be a lackey and be so attentive? I'll give you this chance. I'll be right here, waiting for you to kill me. Long Fei said with disdain. Brat, you are too arrogant. We just won't bother with you. Right? Arguing with you is just pushing us down. You only killed 2 pieces of trash. What's there to be proud of? If it was the 2 Gongzis who took action, just the aura alone is enough to kill them. A group of people said, Idiot, the more you scream, the more afraid you'll be to bite. You're just a bunch of trash. No, speaking of trash, it's because I think highly of you. You all are just trash talking and pretending to be a dog. Long Fei sarcastically said, these people did not even have the qualifications to be considered a cultivator. Flattering and flattering. Everyone looked furious as they stared at Long Fei. After all, he had been stripped of his disguise and slapped in the face. No one could withstand it. At this moment, both Qin Wuyue and Zhao Hao were equally furious. Brat, you're done. Trash like you. Even if you kneel to our family, you still won't accept it. They will obtain the friendship between our two families in the future. You will become a lone, soul wild ghost. Qin Huiyu looked at Long Fei coldly. His voice was as cold as snow, and his killing intent was raging. Then why don't you come? The young masters of the three great families, right? Let's see who kills who. Long Fei was not moved. Threats? Worst of all, if threats were useful, even God's martial continent would not be able to come out now. Boom! Suddenly, the celestial light exploded and the brilliant light filled the 9 heavens. Everyone's attention was attracted. Long Fei was no exception. The light of primal chaos engulfed the entire abyss, with a single point of light as the center, forming a circular arc in the air. In the blink of an eye, light covered everything. Long Fei was even more furious when he saw the chaos immortal light that erupted from the abyss. In the past, they had only killed bosses. Everything was over. Who would have thought that this time, the boss would actually raise such a fortune? Damn, if I knew earlier, I would have stayed in the abyss for a while longer. Long Fei cursed in his heart. At this time, his parents no longer had the mood to pay attention to Long Fei. We must go down into the abyss. Zhao Hao said, there's nothing more important than a chaos treasure. Don't bother with this piece of trash. He'll feel better when we get the treasures. The two of them spoke. Long Fei's face turned cold. I should be giving these words to you. Long Fei was also more concerned about the thing that exploded out from the abyss. At this moment, Long Fei was too lazy to bother with Zhao Hao and the others. In any case, these people would be here and wouldn't disappear. At the same time, the tens of thousands of cultivators had all gone crazy. One by one, they approached the abyss, eager to obtain the right opportunity. The celestial light grew increasingly intense, and the aura of primal chaos even caused everyone to be captivated by it. They all wished that they could jump into the abyss right now. You get over here. Zhao Hao turned around and stretched out his hand. An ancient 4th-level cultivator was brought to the edge of the abyss by Zhao Hao. Go scout for me, Zhao Hao said in a deep voice. That person was overjoyed. Ha ha ha, young Master Zhao, don't worry. I'll be going now. The cultivator laughed loudly and jumped down. The surrounding people had envious looks on their faces, secretly hating themselves for picking the contestant. No, don't kill me, don't kill me. However, at this time, a terrified scream came from the abyss and then disappeared. The expressions of Zhao Hao and Qin Huiyu instantly became colder and colder. You, get over here. Qin Huiyu turned around, and with a sweep of his origin energy, his cultivation of the 7th level of the ancient era's supreme elder erupted. He immediately grabbed a person behind him. No. Young Master Yu, my cultivation is low and I have no interest in this treasure. Only a supreme genius like you is worthy to have it, that person quickly said. His cultivation was also at the 4th level of the ancient supreme elder, and the person who had jumped down just now and received the death signal in less than a second was also at this level. In this instant, his incomparable admiration turned into incomparable fear. You dare disobey me? Qin Huiyu's expression turned cold, and his killing intent immediately appeared. Young Master Huiyu, I puffed. Qin Huiyu released the power from his palm and killed this cultivator with a single palm strike. That person didn't even have the time to explain. He was already dead. An ant should have the consciousness of an ant. Qin Huiyu's eyes were ice cold. As he turned around, he locked onto another person. Get down. The face of the person who was pointed out by Qin Huiyu instantly lost all color. Although his cultivation base was slightly high, he was still at the 5th level of an ancient power. Young Master Huiyu, I am old. It would be better to let that good-for-nothing disciple of mine go. After he finished speaking, this person did not say anything and directly threw a young disciple beside him into the abyss. No, Master, no. Before the young man could react, His body was already hanging in the air. Then, as if attracted by a magnet, his body suddenly dropped. At the edge of the abyss, a group of people were waiting. But time passed, second by second. There was no response. But everyone knew that this person was dead. A third-level ancient supreme elder had died, just like that. Not even a sound could be heard. Long Fei's face also revealed a look of hesitation. Could it be? There's another boss? Long Fei guessed. The chaos energy in the abyss was too mysterious. It was basically a mystery who touched and who died. No, I didn't need to approach him. Even coveting was a crime. An ancient supreme elder's cultivation level in the divine space was a supreme existence, able to rule over an entire region. Even in this unknown land of primal chaos, powerhouses were as common as the clouds. The cultivation of an ancient supreme elder was definitely that of an expert. Otherwise, how could Qin Wuyue and Zhao Hao be called geniuses? However, even with that being the case, two people still did not know what was underneath this abyss. Right at this moment, two gazes locked onto Long Fei at the same time. Kid, get down. Zhao Hao and Qin Wuyue had locked on a Long Fei. Zhao Hao and Qin Wuyue had locked on a Long Fei. Originally, they wanted to put Long Fei to death, but now they just so happened to let Long Fei become their cannon fodder. Long Fei was startled and then smiled. He stared at Zhao Hao and Qin Wuyue as if he were staring at a fool. What are you looking at? Young Master Zhao and young Master Qin want you to go down. You'd better not know what's good for you. And now, what else do you have? Beside Zhao Hao, the woman who had a deep relationship with the Yu Rose sisters earlier said as she glared at Long Fei. He even intentionally brought his stunted body closer to Zhao Hao. At the same time, he also hooked his finger at Qin Wushuang. Qin Wuyue secretly made eye contact with this woman with a kind of evil interest. F***, what kind of story is this? Zhao Tian, do you feel a horse running over your head? Long Fei said in disdain. What? Kid, what are you talking about? Zhao Hao's face was puzzled as he gloomily said. The faces of the surrounding people turned red as they didn't dare to speak. They were afraid that if they spoke, they would laugh out loud. How? Isn't it the sun? The Zhao family's power was overflowing. No one dared to say this, but now that Long Fei had said it, they could not help but laugh. TSK. Your father feels that you are very bitter. You said that you were so awesome that you could exist day in and day out. Your woman brought you this green hat, and you can endure it. Qin Wuyue, you sure are awesome. The man riding the horse was powerful and strong. Even on Zhao Hao's head, he still galloped so happily. Long Fei laughed. As for the woman, in that instant, she lost her train of thought. Panic filled her eyes, and she instinctively leaned toward Qin Wuyue. How could Zhao Hao not know that he had been infected? Bitch, go die. Zhao Hao flew into a rage and threw a palm attack. Brother Zhao, don't listen to a country bumpkin who is trying to seduce the masses. Without warning, Qin Wuyue made a move to stop her, protecting the girl behind him. Qin Wuyue, you damn bastard. I treat you as my brother, but you actually sleep with my woman. Brother Zhao, you are just a woman. Why take it seriously? Right now, the bigger picture is the better. Qin Wuyue said indifferently. Hearing this, Zhao Hao calmed down. All right, let's talk about this slut later. But now I want this kid to die. Zhao Hao withdrew his hand and looked towards Long Fei. F***, your ancestor. Are you sick? You've been infected by the green light. Do you want to kill your father? Long Fei scolded. Initially, he wanted to provoke Zhao Hao and Qin Wuyue and reap the benefits. However, he never expected that Zhao Hao would actually have a wild horse on his head. Brat, you're thinking too much. It's just a woman. Do you think I would care about her? However, now that the time of your death has come, no one can make me unhappy, especially trash like you. Now, this young master will give you a choice. You can either enter the abyss or die. Zhao Hao said, give me a choice. Do you think I don't dare to kill you? Long Fei was furious, being provoked again and again by Zhao Hao, if not for the existence of this abyss, which made Long Fei uncertain of what to do, and wanted to borrow the strength of these people to probe him, he would have started the harvest long ago. This was a huge amount of experience. With that said, Long Fei immediately made his move. Level 8 burst. Long Fei's figure suddenly disappeared. Leaping into the air, he directly appeared in front of Zhao Hao and punched out. Boom! Asterisk. Zhao Hao's body was sent flying. However, this punch didn't manage to blast Zhao Hao into smithereens. Body protection soul treasure? Holy artifact? Long Fei was startled. Immediately after, a mysterious light flashed on Zhao Hao's body as mysterious patterns appeared on his battle clothes one after another. Haha, how was it? Trash is trash. Even if you sneak attack me, what can you do to me? I have the chaos armor. Who can stop me? To young master, your attack is no different from an ant. And if I want to kill you, it will be as easy as pie. Zhao Hao looked down from above, appearing to be extremely arrogant in the void. It's the Zhao family's inherited holy artifact, chaos armor. Master Zhao is so overbearing. This is what a man is. Young Master Zhao, since that woman has turned green with you, don't take her. Take me. I'll give you the striped snake. Slut, why don't you look at yourself? Young Master Zhao, I want to give birth to your baby. Humans were like this, possessing the power of the flames. The more berserk Zhao Hao was, the more lowly they would be. He completely forgot about the fact that Zhao Hao treated them like animals and threw them into the abyss to test them out. However, Long Fei remained calm. Zhao Hao's words posed no threat to him. On the contrary, there was a little excitement. At first, he thought that the spiritual treasure on Zhao Hao's body was just a holy artifact. At most, it would only be one super artifact. But from the looks of it, it wasn't that simple. He possessed the power of a true dragon, dominating the world, let alone the 7th layer of an ancient supreme elder. Even if he was at the great perfection realm, he would at least lose a layer of skin even if he didn't die from a full-force attack. Even if there were holy artifact-s, they would not be able to resist. I never thought that this unknown land in primal chaos would be filled with treasures. Before, it was a mountain mist divine sword, but now it was a chaos armor? What if he could come up with a chaos set? Wouldn't that mean that tens of thousands of young girls will become famous? Long Fei thought. Explode him. We have to kill him. Long Fei's heart was filled with desire. Even if this Zhao Hao was not the boss, the primal chaos armor on him had already made Long Fei's heart beat faster, even though he already had the young god set in his space. But Long Fei had already checked it, because the power of the world was different. It was extremely difficult to use the Yang God set here. Although the level was not low, the amount of energy that could be used was at most holy artifact's power. A great killing weapon of the circulatory cycle revolution? That won't do. Unless I kill all of them and condense a slaughtering space, perhaps. Zhao Hao will be blown up. God of heaven, this is such a waste. Are you not even worthy of being used as trash? Power of inscription? Joy appeared in Long Fei's eyes. The power of inscription flashed in his mind. Yes, power of inscription. You F** king are good at defending yourself. Then come and have a taste of all of your father's penetrating inscriptions. Long Fei was extremely pleased with himself. He thought that the power of inscription was also a great holy artifact. His aim was too strong. Thinking about it, Long Fei suddenly raised his head. He had locked on a Zhao Hao. Power of inscription, activate. Long Fei's heart stirred as he activated the power of the inscription. In the sky, Zhao Hao was still as arrogant as before. His gaze swept downwards like a king looking down at his subjects, with an expression as though he was following his master's lead. Kid, how are you now? Are you still crazy? I've already said this before. It'll be a matter of minutes before I kill you. And you guys, respect me as your master, and I will give you all an honor. Zhao Hao was high and mighty, ignoring everyone around him. Even Qin Wuyue had an unwilling look on his face. As for the woman beside him, her face was full of regret as she looked at Zhao Hao. The degree of acting tough is indescribable. No, I will not allow such a pretentious person to exist. Long Fei was disdainful in his heart, his eyes focused. Really? Zhao Tiantian, I think you have lost your mind. You should be King, called Zhao Tian. Do you really think that you can do whatever you want with just a turtle shell? Long Fei said indifferently. The killing intent around his body became even stronger. If you're wearing all kinds of inscriptions, explode. Long Fei only threw a punch. Long Fei only threw a punch. But this punch contained the power of inscription. It was incomparably sharp and could break the defense of this world. Long Fei believed that under this punch, even if it was primary realm S at the perfection stage, they would not be able to block it. Boom! Zhao Hao had no way to defend against this punch. His body was directly thrown into the abyss. All of a sudden, Zhao Hao panicked. Long Fei was also stunned. Although this punch had severely injured Zhao Hao, he hadn't died at all. Most of the damage was absorbed by Zhao Hao's defensive holy artifact. No. However, at this moment, Zhao Hao's face was sallow, and he frantically struggled, as if he was being entangled by something. Long Fei was shocked. Even the people at the edge of the abyss were also shocked. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Right at this moment, the light of primordial chaos erupted forth to its limit. The light beams that shot into the sky enveloped Zhao Hao's figure and rapidly descended. It disappeared in an instant. At the same time, the light of chaos disappeared as well. He couldn't even sense a trace of his aura. He disappeared? How did this happen? No, that's a chaos treasure. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. A commotion broke out in the crowd, and there were even a few who were unafraid of death that directly jumped into the abyss. However, in the blink of an eye, a miserable scream was heard, and they died a violent death. Boy, there's something strange about this chaotic force. It's definitely not some sort of chaos treasure. Just as Long Fei was deep in thought, Long Baishan's vigorous voice suddenly came out from his mind. Long Batian, what do you mean? Long Fei's state of mind was immersed, and he immediately asked. The power of primordial chaos was indeed quite strange. From the very beginning, when the aura of chaos spread throughout the world, Long Fei had been attracted there. Seeing that it actually erupted from the abyss, Long Fei had already sensed that it was a bit coincidental. He had just walked out of the abyss, and the treasure had already appeared. At this moment, after hearing Long Baishan's voice, Long Fei was even more sure. Who is Long Batian? The #1 powerhouse. He would not accept any rebuttal of history. Since this kind of person could say it was weird, then there was no need to doubt him. Furthermore, with Long Fei here, Long Batian would definitely not allow any accidents to happen. Long Baishan's layout was too big. What she wanted to obtain from Long Fei was definitely not ordinary. Therefore, no matter what, at this time, Long Batian would definitely not scam Long Fei. Long Batian only said a few words before he disappeared. Towards Long Fei's questions, he did not care at all. Until now, Long Fei still did not know what Long Batian wanted him to do. But before the contract was completed, he would not harm Long Fei, but he would do his best to help Long Fei. Long Fei could also use him. All right, Long Batian, ignore this father, right? You are awesome. Don't let Lousy know what you want, otherwise, even if I die again, you won't get it. Long Fei said fiercely. Of course, this was all just said. Long Batian was completely unmoved, as he sat quietly within the dragon's scale. Long Fei was helpless. He cursed in his heart and retracted his mind. Of course, what he didn't know was that after he retracted his mind, it was as if the dragon's scale had split. The cracks that had already formed became even clearer. Inside the dragon's scale, an ethereal aura gradually condensed. In the end, they converged into a blurry figure. Chaos, what are you trying to do? The figure was Long Batian. Inside the dragon's scale was Long Baishan's strength. It was not surprising for them to be able to gather Long Baishan's figure. Of course, all of these things were things that Long Fei did not know. The current Long Fei had his gaze fixed on the person at the side of the abyss. At this very moment, as the chaotic light disappeared, several cultivators lost their lives, and everyone had the urge to leave. especially Qin Wuyue. His face had become incomparably sinister. When they came out this time, they even brought along the clan's inheritance holy artifact for the sake of this primal chaos treasure. But right now, the treasures did not appear. Zhang Yu was beaten away by Long Fei, and Zhao Hao was killed by Long Fei. It could be said that he had suffered a crushing defeat. Brat, you're dead. Ha! No one in this world can save you now that you've killed Zhao Hao. Qin Wuyue spoke in a low voice. Yes, that's right. I'll go to the Zhao family right now and tell them that it was you who killed Brother Zhao. The woman beside Qin Wuyue also spoke. Idiot. Long Fei didn't feel anything at all. He had long since become accustomed to this kind of painless threat. As for whether or not the Zhao family would let him go, Long Fei did not care. In any case, from his point of view, these people before him would become his experience. Thinking about it, Long Fei's heart moved. Then all of you have to survive and return. Long Fei's killing intent erupted. The surrounding people's expressions changed, and they quickly backed up. They had already experienced Long Fei's might before, and even Zhao Hao was not his opponent. Let them go, they are innocent too. At this moment, Long Fei heard a sound of sleep talking. Eunuch woke up. Long Fei was in a bit of a dilemma, but thinking about the fact that Yuro was related to his system quest, he could only nod his head. As if they had received amnesty, those people hurriedly fled. Even Qin Wuyue and the people around him had snuck in. Long Fei originally wanted to stop her, but when he felt the weak aura from her body in his embrace, he could only give up. The current Yuro had to be treated. Just now, in order to form the formation, she had to burn her longevity. If she wasn't able to repair it in time, her life might be in danger. This is the life essence you eat first. It is enough to replenish the life that you had just burnt. Long Fei said. Yuro had triggered the system's quest. How could Long Fei not be willing to let her go? Life essence? How did you get a pill? Are you not from the Bedlam lands? Yuro said in surprise. Could it be? In this primal chaos, unknown land, there is no alchemy master? Long Fei asked excitedly. This was definitely a way to make money. Regardless of the level of one's cultivation base, there would always be pills compatible with it. It looks like you really aren't someone from the Bedlam lands. In all of the primal chaos, in all of the ancient history, there has never been an alchemy master. Yuro said. With that, he looked at the pill in Long Fei's hand, his eyes flickering. You are right. I am not from the unknown. However, I have as much as I want. Long Fei said. But just as he said that, he felt like he was looking at a big bad wolf. It was as if he was trying to tempt a miner with sugar. As expected, Yuro frowned and rejected the idea. No need, I know you did it out of good intentions. However, now that Zhao Hao is dead, I must think of a way to save my grandfather. Yuro suddenly turned cold and struggled out of Long Fei's grasp, wanting to leave. But just as he exerted his strength, he directly fell to the ground. You just lost your lifespan and burnt your life force. If you don't fix it in time, then not to mention saving your grandfather, even you, yourself, will not be able to survive. Long Fei said, and did not give any explanation. He directly carried Yuro and stuffed the life essence in her mouth. Where are you bringing me? Yuro wanted to struggle free, but how could she be a match for Long Fei? Of course it's to bring you back, then save your grandfather. Long Fei said. He had initially wanted to stop Yuro, but now that everyone had left, he no longer felt that she was in any danger. The system quest had been completed, but there was no prompt from a system. With no other choice, Long Fei considered the problem with Yuro's grandfather. However, as soon as Long Fei's voice fell, Yuro started to struggle violently. No way. In Thousand Sun City, at the end of an unremarkable street, Long Fei walked in under the guidance of Yuro. Long Fei, you can go. There's nothing you can do. There are countless experts in the Zhao family. You can't risk your life. Yuro said with a worried expression. On the way here, when she heard that Long Fei wanted to bring her back to Thousand Sun City, she immediately rejected him off. Although Long Fei was very powerful, Yuro did not believe that Long Fei was a match for the Zhao family. The The Zhao family had existed for thousands of years in an unknown land. It had existed for tens of thousands of years. Don't worry. I just want to save someone. I won't charge him by myself. Long Fei said, You don't know. You have already obtained the Zhang family's secret, and you have also revealed the secret of the Qin family. The worst thing that can happen to a person like that is that he doesn't reveal anything dirty. They will kill you. You should hurry up and leave. Only after leaving can you live on. Yuro said. Long Fei laughed in his heart. Yuro was too kind. He had a feeling that such a person could survive in this unknown land. All right, you said before that there was no alchemy master at all in this unknown place. What's going on? Long Fei changed the topic and asked. The unknown land is a land of exile. The entire unknown land is actually a space that was forcefully split open from the divine space. But I didn't think too much about it. From the moment this unknown land was born, this entire world cannot be called alchemy. As time passed, the number of alchemy masters in this place have long since ceased to exist. This unknown land has been abandoned by the heavens. Yuro explained. Exile, area, heaven? Long Fei muttered to himself. This description gave Long Fei a huge sense of perspective. Inexplicably, many images flashed past Long Fei's mind. Temple, messenger of hell, ancient giant, crest of the heavens. It's here again. Looks like my memories from the seal are truly plentiful. Long Fei was a little unhappy. Especially after hearing the word blue from Yuro, Long Fei naturally thought of the Xians, the ruler of the divine space. Long Fei ruthlessly said in his heart, There will be a day when I will kill all of you. When Yuro sensed the killing intent on Long Fei's body, her pupils shrank, showing a sign of displeasure. Long Fei also sensed it, but did not explain any further. Yuro was too kind. Don't worry. I said I would definitely be able to save your grandfather. Long Fei said. Yuro didn't say anything else. She fell silent. She didn't believe that Long Fei had the ability to do so. Long Fei did not speak further, and thought about what Yuro had said before. He had originally thought that since there was no alchemy master in this chaotic unknown land, there was an additional way for him to earn money. I heard it now, that it can't be alchemy? How could Long Fei accept this? Immediately, Long Fei began. The heaven and earth became the furnace. It was naturally fire. One after another, spirit medicines were thrown into the spatial space, slowly taking shape under Long Fei's control. He had originally thought that Long Fei was cultivating, but now he could tell that Long Fei was actually using alchemy. You're an alchemy? Even if the alchemy master of an unknown land had already been cut off, she still knew that the alchemy was definitely not as unarmed as Long Fei's. Even so, Long Fei was actually going to succeed. She knew even better than Long Fei what it would mean if Long Fei succeeded in refining it. Long Fei's face was also extremely nervous. The more they carried it out to the end, the more he felt it was difficult. A resistance appeared in the void, as if it was a restriction between the heavens and the earth. And the alchemy was going against the heavens. Damn, I don't believe it. Long Fei clenched his teeth and persevered. The pill fire in his hands became even stronger. But right at this moment, lightning bolts roared, and a black bolt of heavenly lightning descended from the sky, directly striking Long Fei's body. Boom! The fire was extinguished, and the pill was destroyed. Long Fei panted heavily. A flash of regret and helplessness appeared on Yuro's face as she said, Give up. It's impossible for you to succeed. The unknown land is an area of exile. Without the permission of the heavens and earth, it is impossible for alchemy to succeed. There is no impossibility in my, Long Fei's, world. Even if it's the heavens, it's not possible. Long Fei said resolutely. Long Fei swallowed a pill and adjusted his body to its peak. They began again. The flames condensed in Long Fei's hands, and the spirit medicine fused with it. Drip, 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 drip. The fusion of the spirit liquid started to coalesce under the power of the natural fire. The Zo shape of the pill appeared once again. Asterisk, however, It was at this moment that the lightning appeared again. Goddamn your ancestor! Long Fei was in comparable rage. Next was the third. Long Fei threw himself in again. 3 minutes later. Long Fei was the first to bear the brunt of the attack. Long Fei, don't continue. This is a taboo in the unknown. My grandfather once said that because of the powerhouse who destroyed the unknown land, he had to fight with the number 1 ancient powerhouse, Long Batian. Because of alchemy competition, Long Batian beat me to a pulp. Therefore, there are no longer any alchemy masters in the unknown lands. She was afraid that Long Fei would be too persistent and cause trouble for himself. But if he did not say it, that would be good. Hearing that, the fighting intent in Long Fei's eyes became even stronger. Because of Long Batian? All right, if Long Batian can do it, then this old man can too. Long Fei made up his mind. It didn't matter if you were in heaven or in hell. Nobody can stop what I'm about to do. Shwa shwa shwa. Long Fei made his move again, effortlessly and familiarly. Streams of spirit power surged, and pill fire blazed like green onions in an instant. However, in the instant that Pill City appeared, it was once again filled with thunderous explosions. Again, Long Fei once again sank into the alchemy. And at this time, in Thousand Sun City, the undercurrents were raging. Zhao family chamber. What's going on? Could it be that the Lord of Chaos had appeared? First, the primal chaos treasure was born, and now, it's time for the heavenly thunder to descend. I have a feeling that there will be a drastic change in the unknown this time. You're right. The ancestor has already deduced that Hauer is not dead. For the Qin family to want to use my Zhao family as a gun is truly wishful thinking. However, we still have to pay attention to that brat. I suspect that he is not from the unknown. On the street of Qianyang City, Zhang Yu is anxiously standing in front of Yuro's house. Yuro, I must let you know that I am the strongest man in this world. Zhang Yu gritted his teeth and suddenly pushed open the door. But just at this moment, a clap of thunder sounded. Zhang Yu was careless and was directly hit by the attack. His brain was instantly ruptured and blood flowed out, and his entire body spasmed. In the room. I finally succeeded. Yuro, did you see that? I said already. In my Long Fei's world, there is no such thing as impossible. Long Fei was extremely excited and started laughing. He didn't know what had just happened, but it just happened. How strange. You really did it. Yuro's face was filled with disbelief, as though she was looking at a miracle. Of course. Look, this is the final result. Not even the heavenly thunder dared to descend. Long Fei laughed. However, there was a trace of doubt in his heart as well. In that instant earlier, he had clearly sensed the arrival of heavenly lightning, yet in the end, it had inexplicably disappeared. This could be a coincidence. Otherwise, it would be unbelievable. Yuro said, "What you said makes sense. I'll try again." Long Fei muttered to himself for a bit, and then began once again. 1 minute later, Dan Chung. This time, not to mention Yuro, even Long Fei was a little surprised. This time, it was surprisingly smooth without any obstructions. Yuro hesitated for a moment before replying. "This Long Fei, you're very powerful." She didn't like to talk, so she could only express the shock in her heart with these words. But Long Fei was enjoying the show very much. He was just about to unleash his charm to get closer to the relationship between Yuro and him. Fuck, who's setting off the thunder everywhere. But just then, an angry roar came from outside the door. Who is it? Who the hell was it? Who is attacking from behind? Long Fei and Yuro were shocked and immediately checked. You're Zhang Yu? Yuro looked at the sight in front of her and was shocked. Zhang Yu had a head full of curly hair and his body was covered in electric currents. His unkempt hair still emitted white smoke. Ro, it's you. It's good that you're fine. It's not safe here. I just got in the door and was ambushed twice. Zhang Yu said, just as he finished speaking. Long Fei immediately started his alchemy. Zhang Yu widened his eyes. It's you? Why are you here? Zhang Yu was infuriated. The moment his enemy met him, his eyes would turn red. Previously, when he was stepped on by Long Fei, he hated Long Fei from the bottom of his heart. If not for the fact that he was afraid of Long Fei's capabilities, he would have made his move a long time ago. Long Fei didn't pay any attention to him, as he had a guess in his heart. He felt that the success of his alchemy would be inextricably linked to Zhang Yu. That was the reason. Now, Long Fei wanted to confirm it on the spot. 1 minute later, Dan Cheng. At the same time, a bolt of heavenly lightning descended from the sky. However, the target was not Long Fei, but Zhang Yu. This bolt of lightning was even more domineering, penetrating through Zhang Yu's body and even taking out his skeleton. You! I will kill you! Zhang Yu angrily said. He pointed at Long Fei, but before he could do anything, he fainted. Long Fei awkwardly looked at Yuro, and then looked at Zhang Yu as if he had thought of something. Yuro had already checked on Zhang Yu's injuries. Long Fei then communicated with Long Lin once again. Long Batian, tell me, what secrets does he have? Long Fei asked. This was an extremely abnormal event, and it exceeded Long Fei's expectations. The alchemy method is the power of ancient inheritance obtained from the system. It had always been Long Fei's unique secret technique. This method of alchemy has not changed, but the key to success lies with Zhang Yu. The dragon scales fell silent. There was no response. You're not going to tell me? Do you believe that I won't kill him now? No matter what scheme you have, or what relationship you have, it has nothing to do with Laozi. Long Fei threatened. Sure enough, just as Long Fei's voice fell, the dragon scale flashed with a faint trace of anger. Long Fei, don't try to enrage me. You can't afford such a price. In short, you absolutely cannot kill this person. He will be the key for you to get out of the Bedlam lands. Long Baishan's voice came out from the dragon's scale. Long Fei seized the chance and asked, You want to leave the primal chaos grounds? Long Batian, what exactly are you hiding? And what exactly is the secret of this unknown land? There are some things I'm not sure about. However, the current you is far from qualified to come into contact with it. If you want to know, then work hard to become stronger. Long Batian said with a lazy tone. It was as if someone with 100 billion would never discuss business with someone with a monthly salary of 3,000. It was a complete disdain. Long Fei's eyes moved. A ruthless aura exploded out. Just you wait. One day, your father will strip every single one of your dragon scales. Long Fei said and retracted his mind. At this moment, Zhang Yu was still unconscious. Long Fei, what do we do? What exactly is going on? Why did your alchemy lightning strike at Zhang Yu? Yuro asked nervously. I don't know either, but since he's the key to my alchemy, I won't let anything happen to him. Long Fei said. He placed the pill that he had just refined into Zhang Yu's mouth. Moments later, Zhang Yu woke up. Boy, it's you. It's actually you. What did you do? Zhang Yu roared. It's nothing, I just concocted a few pills. Long Fei said casually. Alchemy? Did you get struck in the head by lightning? Alchemy? It is simply impossible to obtain alchemy in such an unknown place. Zhang Yu's eyes were filled with ridicule. Haven't you discovered that your cultivation has broken through? Long Fei said. Of course, Long Fei knew that this pill was not that powerful. It was just a single spirit-increasing pill that could raise one's spiritual energy. The crux of the problem lay with Zhang Yu himself. This was because there had never been a pill in the unknown, so they had to rely on themselves to cultivate all the way. Thus, under the stimulation of the pills, Zhang Xian's spiritual energy surged. It was normal for him to be able to achieve a breakthrough in his cultivation. Zhang Yu was stunned and quickly checked his body. When he saw it, his mind reeled. His cultivation had actually broken through 2 levels in such a short time. He had reached the 8th level of the ancient era. Immediately, Zhang Yu looked at Long Fei in disbelief. He absolutely did not believe that Long Fei was an alchemy. Mei, how could he explain his cultivation? Hey, since you don't believe me, then let's go. Then let's do it again. Without further ado, Long Fei continued with his alchemy. His methods were naturally executed, to the point where Long Fei did not need to invest much now. As long as the natural fire was ignited and the spiritual medicine fused together, a pill would be formed in an instant. Of course, the same was true for the heavenly thunders. Zhang Yu looked at Long Fei with an expression of disbelief, and within his anger, there was also fear. Eat it. Zhang Yu hesitated for a moment, looking at Long Fei, then looking at Yuro. Uriel nodded. Without any hesitation, Zhang Yu swallowed it in one gulp. Shwa shwa shwa. Electricity surging. It directly washed the pill Zhang Yu swallowed into his body, causing the medicinal effect to take effect. Boom, boom. His cultivation had broken through yet again. Zhang Yu's cultivation base had directly broken through to the 9th level of the ancient powers. At this moment, Zhang Yu no longer had any doubts in his heart. Big brother Long Fei, please accept me. Zhang Yu did not care about Yuro at all. His eyes shone brightly, and his entire body was covered in black smoke. He immediately grabbed Long Fei, his face full of anticipation. Long Fei said with disgust, "What are you thinking? Do you take me for your free alchemy master?" Long Fei said, "Boss, I could be a meat shield. Your alchemy, I will be hacked into. What a perfect combination. My requirements aren't high. To be hacked 100 times, you need a pill, all right?" Zhang Yu said anxiously, afraid that Long Fei would reject him. Long Fei laughed loudly in his heart. Not to mention what Long Batian had said. Just refining the pills required Zhang Yu's cooperation, so he had to make Zhang Yu stay behind. Now that Zhang Yu had come knocking, Long Fei naturally would not refuse. Before, he had only wanted to capture her. Long Fei looked at Zhang Yu, muttering to himself. Zhang Yu had a face full of anticipation, nervously looking at Long Fei, afraid that Long Fei would not agree. Right at this moment, a loud sound was heard from outside the door. Boom! Yuro, get your ass out here. The door was torn open. A few streams of killing intent pierced through the door, causing the surrounding buildings to collapse. Long Fei looked over, his gaze cold. The Zhao family has arrived. Yuro, I think you don't want your grandfather's life anymore. You actually teamed up with a wild kid to harm our young master. Hand over the formation technique that you have, and I can consider letting you live. In the Zhao family, there was an ancient almighty being at the 7th level. The man said he was the leader of this mission. I don't know what you're talking about. Zhao Hao's death was something that he brought upon himself. As for the formation, I've already said before, if you release my grandfather, you will naturally get it. Yuro said as she looked at him. Ha, you don't know. Now that the news is spread throughout the city, my young master fell into the abyss because of that wild man of yours? Say, you don't know? Do you think that Zhao Yuan, is a pushover? Zhao Yuan was hysterical with a trace of hysteria in his eyes. Ruthlessness. You don't know. No way, right? I really won't shed a tear until I see the coffin, but I want to see, when you see your grandpa's hand tendons and leg tendons being torn off, I'll see if you can still continue being stubborn. As Zhao Yuan spoke, 2 Zhao family disciples came out on an old man's back. The old man's eyes were cloudy, and there was not a trace of life on his body. He had already endured inhuman torture. Roer, quickly leave. Don't worry about me. The old man held his breath and said weakly, Old thing, you still dare to struggle. Break. Zhao Yuan cursed angrily as the strength in his hand shook. The old man's arm was broken. Grandfather. Yuro's face fell as tears welled up in her eyes. Killing intent also appeared in Long Fei's eyes. Not good. Long Fei had already guessed that if he allowed those people to return to the city, it would definitely bring about disaster. He just didn't expect that they would arrive so quickly. No, Grandpa, you'll let my grandfather go. Yuro instantly scurried out. If it wasn't for Long Fei blocking her, she would have already fallen into her trap. Let go of me, okay? Hand over what I want, and then accompany our Zhao family's disciples to have a good night. I'll let your grandfather go. Right, the formation masters have everything. They can create illusions. That taste. Haha, as long as you make me want to die, I'll let your grandfather go. The disciples of the Zhao family were extremely proud of themselves. In their eyes, Yuro was nothing more than a piece of fish on a chopping block, waiting to be slaughtered. As for Long Fei and Zhang Yu, they completely ignored them. This was because their Zhao family was the god and the ruler of Thousand Sun City. At this time, Long Fei's eyebrows were knitted even tighter. Master, hold it in. In the sky, there are a few extremely powerful auras, and they're all locking onto you. Long Quang said. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. He could also feel that there were some powerful messages in the air. But the person that Long Fei truly cared about was Yu Ro's grandfather. He wanted to save her. Otherwise, he would have exploded a long time ago. Especially when he saw the helpless expression on her face, a chill ran up his spine. How is it? Have you made up your mind? If you want us to let go of your grandfather, then crawl over here right now. Zhao Yuan's eyes were filled with lust, wishing he could ravage Yuro. Yuro sobbed, shaking her head repeatedly. In that moment, the anger in Long Fei's heart exploded. F***, I'll tolerate you. If I don't dare to offend you guys today, I won't be Long Fei. Long Fei had originally wanted to seize this opportunity to rescue Yuro's grandfather, and then erupt explosively. But now, he couldn't take it anymore. Since he couldn't bear it any longer, he might as well go all out. This was because the Zhao family had already touched his reverse scale. What he hated most was being threatened with his family. Even though it was currently unrelated to Yuro, since it was related to the system quest, Long Fei would naturally take it more seriously. Thinking about it, Long Fei immediately said, "Is that all the Zhao family members can do? Using an old man to threaten a woman? Has your father gained experience too? The 3 great families? I'm afraid it's just 3 great jokes." As the sound of his voice faded, the members of the Zhao clan were all infuriated. "Brat, who do you think you are? How dare you, an ant, criticize my Zhao family? Just who gave you the guts? He's simply courting death." Zhao Yuan looked at Long Fei and said coldly, "That's you, old bastard. Not only you, your Zhao family is full of beasts. Calling you animals is overestimating you. You are worse than beasts." Long Fei said, "Boss, what nonsense are you telling them? In order to change your opinion of my Zhang family, I have decided to take care of them." Zhang Yu also stepped forward and said while blocking in front of Long Fei. Right now, Zhang Yu was also covered in electric currents, and his entire body was scorched black, revealing an inexplicable sense of joy. "Haha, who is this? You must be joking, right? Roast suckling pigs? That's right. Isn't this the Zhang clan's useless pig? I heard that even the Zhang clan's inherited holy artifact were lost. The trash of the Zhang family dares to compete with our Zhao family? You overestimate yourself." A wave of laughter spread out, causing the Zhao family members to laugh so hard that they swayed back and forth, looking down on Zhang Yu. Wait a minute. Did this piece of trash just call him the boss bastard that harmed young master? Are they a party? What is Zhang clan? This is blatantly provoking the dignity of our Zhao clan. In that case, so what if it's the Zhang clan? Who is killing who today? The Zhao family members had killing intent written all over their faces. They were here to cause trouble, or rather, to ask for the array formation technique. Dignity your mother. Your father is trash? I will let you know today, your Zhao family is just a bunch of trash. Zhang Yu bellowed and threw out a punch. Boom! Several disciples of the Zhao family were turned into meat pies by this punch, especially those who had mocked Zhang Yu earlier. Their deaths were even more miserable. Not even their corpses were left behind. Shoo! A bunch of ants? Without the Zhao family, you're just a bunch of dogs. But of course, even if you have the Zhao family, you are still a bunch of dogs. You dare to put on an act in front of my boss. Did I give you guys face? Zhang Yu was a monarch, and the realm of the 9th level of the ancient era's supreme elder was released. With such cultivation, he was able to suppress the entire audience. If it was the Zhang Yu from before, he would definitely not dare to be so arrogant without the mountain mist sword in his hands. But it was different now. In Long Fei's hands, under his happy and painful manipulation, he directly broke through. The ninth level of an ancient supreme elder. In the entire Thousand Sun City, this cultivation realm could be called invincible apart from the elders and ancestors of the three families. The group of henchmen in front of him were unable to withstand a single blow. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing a Zhao family disciple. You have obtained 100 experience points. Holy Source points, 10. Striking value, 1 point. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing a Zhao family disciple. You have obtained 100 experience points. Holy Source points, 10. Striking value, 1 point. Ding! Ding! System notification. Because Zhang Yu has killed, and Zhang Yu has already recognized Long Fei as his boss. Long Fei has experience. At this time, the Zhao family members were already in a state of chaos. Impossible. Impossible. It's obvious that you're still a waste with a 7th level cultivation the day before yesterday. How could you have broken through so quickly? Zhao Yuan's face was filled with shock. He originally thought this would be an easy task, but who would have thought that Zhang Yu would suddenly appear? Impossible. Impossible. It's obvious that you're still a waste with a 7th level cultivation the day before yesterday. How could you have broken through so quickly? Zhao Yuan's face was filled with shock. He originally thought this would be an easy task, but who would have thought that Zhang Yu would suddenly appear? Zhao Yuan pondered for a moment. He knew that if Zhang Yu were to be involved, it would be extremely difficult for them to complete their mission. Thinking about this, Zhao Yuan said, Zhang Yu, are you sure you want to become enemies with my Zhao family? I advise you not to cause trouble for the Zhang family. Although Zhang Yu was not weak when Zhao Yuan threatened them, the Zhao family was behind them. Even if the Zhang clan was one of the 3 great clans, there was a sequence. In front of the Zhao clan, the Zhang clan could not be compared at all. Zhang Yu looked conflicted. After a long while, he gritted his teeth and said, why are you blabbering? I don't believe that a servant like you would turn against my Zhao family. Zhang Yu said harshly. Long Fei also did not say a word as he carried Yu Rou in his arms. He was looking at the Zhao family people. Now is the time. Long Fei's heart stirred. He let go of Yu Rou and directly rushed towards the 2 people who kidnapped her grandfather. Inscription power. Vertigo. Long Fei stretched out his hand and the 2 disciples fainted. After Long Fei rescued grandfather Yu Rou, he once again looked at the people from the Zhao family. Zhang Yu, we're ready. I'm going to take action. Long Fei's eyes flashed. He raised his hand up to his chest. Instantly, flames exploded. Ha ha, boss, come on, kill these sons of bitches. Zhang Yu's pupils constricted. First it was fear, then it became incomparable madness, as if he thirsted for a baptism. The Zhao family members also instinctively retreated. Looking at the flame that was slowly rising from Long Fei's hand, his face was at a loss. What is this? Use fire? How laughable. We're all at the level of ancient powers. What kind of fire could hurt us? An ant is an ant. His methods are also so low. The Zhao family members had looks of disdain. Idiot, you guys will suffer later. Zhang Yu directly replied. The instant Long Fei moved, he already knew what Long Fei was thinking. Long Fei wants alchemy, and alchemy would definitely trigger heavenly thunder. In other words, Long Fei wanted to capture all of the Zhao family members in one fell swoop. Boss, come on. I'm already prepared. This time, we must definitely let them know what it means to feel good. Zhang Yu said. Long Fei, on the other hand, heavily nodded his head as the flames in his hand grew more and more exuberant. Immediately after, Long Fei threw a stalk of heaven lightning grass inside. This was a pill that was able to refine the lightning element. Of course, Long Fei did this to hide things from others. Alchemy was simply too important. It could even affect the entire primal chaos grounds. Therefore, Long Fei did not plan to expose himself. Gather! Long Fei yelled as the heavenly lightning grass in his hand instantly turned into nothingness. Go to hell. As Long Fei's voice fell, a lightning pill condensed in his hand. At the same time, the 9 heavens rumbled and dark clouds covered the sky. Kacha, kacha! Rumble, rumble, rumble. In the next moment, countless bolts of lightning covered the sky and fell from the sky. Zhang Yu had charged straight into the Zhao family's camp the moment the lightning landed. Suddenly, the entire Zhao family started to scream. None of the Zhao family members were able to escape. Even Zhao Yuan was struck by lightning and vomited blood. It could be said that, with the exception of Zhang Yu, all the other areas that were covered by the heavenly thunders were wailing in pain. Haha, crazy! Keep shouting. Isn't your Zhao clan awesome? Come, feel this daddy's lightning power. You still dare to laugh at me? Let's see how you die. Zhang Yu laughed maniacally. The power of heavenly lightning landed on his body, seemingly to have no effect at all. It was like saying that he was already used to this kind of strength and no longer felt any pain. However, the people of the Zhao family were different. Thunder rumbled, and countless members of the Zhao family died. Ding, ding, ding. The system notification rang out, and a sound appeared almost every second. This also meant that the people from the Zhao clan were already dead. Ah! I want you dead. I want you to die. Elder, save me. I don't want to die. Don't kill me. Zhang Yu, young Master Zhang, please spare me. Zhao Yuan began to beg for mercy. Under the bombardment of the heavenly thunder, he was in unbearable pain. Long Fei looked at him coldly, not caring at all. He was waiting for the people in the void to make their move. However, it was not until Zhao Yuan's soul was annihilated and perished under the power of the heavenly thunder. The person hiding in the darkness did not appear. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Zhao Yuan. You have obtained 1 million experience, 10,000 holy source points, and 1 striking value point. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining decayed blood. The system's voice appeared in time. Long Fei felt helpless and cursed in his heart. Currently, he needed 10 billion experience points to level up. Since Zhao Yuan was only at the 7th level of an ancient supreme elder, there was no point in giving him 1 million experience points. As for the disciples, the experience they had gained was negligible. Too stingy. System, it's an elite monster. You only gave me 1 million EXP. Isn't that a bit too much? Long Fei cursed in his heart as he scolded the system. However, there was no response from the system. In desperation, Long Fei could only give up. Master, be careful. There are some ripples coming from the void. At this moment, Long Quang reminded. Long Fei suddenly turned his gaze towards the sky, releasing his killing intent. In the sky, 2 figures stood there facing each other. One of them was an elder of the Zhao family, Zhao Wutian. One of them was an elder of the Qin clan, Qin Zhong. Brother Zhao, this kid is abnormal. To be able to trigger the lightning of primal chaos, it seems like his origins are worth pondering over. Qin Zhong said with a glint in his eyes. Looks like what the patriarch said was right. This kid is most likely not from the unknown lands. Zhao Wuji was also deep in thought. However, in the end, he did not make a move. It was as if the death of the Zhao family had nothing to do with him. However, Brother Zhao, can you really tolerate this brat's arrogance? Those are all disciples of the Zhao family. Qin Shuang asked tentatively. Yichong, don't test me. If your Qin family wants to use my Zhao family as cannon fodder, it is impossible. Zhao Wuqian turned around, tore open the void, and left quickly. Qin Shuang's face was cold. He glanced at Long Fei a few times and also chose to leave. As the two left, Long Fei was actually a little disappointed. Because Long Fei was extremely eager to level up, he hoped that the owner of the 2 auras in the sky was the boss. But he didn't expect that the other side would leave just like that. Ha, boss, this feels so good. I can feel that the power in my body has increased again. If this goes on, I will only need a few more times to break through to the great perfection stage. Zhang Yu said excitedly. Don't worry. As long as you follow me and do your job of meat shield, you'll be able to easily deal with the super perfection. Long Fei said indifferently, and then looked at Yuro. At this moment, Yuro was still crying bitterly. Although Long Fei saved his grandfather, the situation was not looking good. Long Fei, save my grandfather. Yuro walked towards Long Fei while crying. I beg you. After saying that with a loud put-on sound, Yuro kneeled down in front of Long Fei. Ding. System prompt. Thank you for your strong support, Lu Fei. Once Yuro kneeled, Long Fei's heart suddenly twitched. An indescribable congestion. Familiar scenes appeared in his mind, as if he couldn't control them. Please, let young Master Long Fei go. Let boss go. As long as you let Long Fei go, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Grief and sorrow intertwined within Long Fei's mind. They're all people from my memories. Memories. Damn it. Long Fei's heart was bleeding. All of these scenes had deeply moved him. Son of 8B *TCH Emperor Xian, there will come a day when this old man wants you to live 100 lifetimes in the seal to let you experience the cycle of reincarnation in billions of dimensions. The hostility in Long Fei's heart could not be quelled as he turned to look at Yuro. Just as he was about to speak, he felt a ripple of aura from the grandpa's body. It was as if another pair of eyes was staring at him from within. It was just that this feeling lasted for a short while, and when Long Fei checked again, he didn't find anything. How is this possible? How is it possible? You can still spy on me? Long Fei was startled, but immediately after, a bad idea formed in his mind. In the next moment, with a face filled with hostility, Long Fei walked step by step towards Yuro's grandfather. Zhang Yu's eyes flickered as he hurriedly tried to stop her. Boss, what's wrong? This is Yuro's grandfather. Zhang Yu saw that Long Fei's condition was abnormal and extended his hand to stop her. But as soon as he got close to Long Fei, he felt a kind of pain from his torn flesh, and he immediately pulled his hand back. Boss, what's wrong? It's us. Zhang Yu once again stopped him. He knew that Long Fei had offended the Zhao family because of Yuro, and now that he had recognized Long Fei, he naturally treated Yuro as his sister-in-law. It was also because his cultivation had soared in the past 2 days that he clearly knew that he was just an empty vanity towards Yuro, wanting to show off in front of the Zhao family and the Qin family. Now that his cultivation had increased, he was greatly enlightened. He understood that the only way to truly subdue others was to possess great strength. Everything else was just an illusion. Furthermore, because of this, he knew clearly that if Long Fei did something, he would probably be hated by Yuro. But at this time, Long Fei ignored Zhang Yu and walked towards Yuro step by step. Long Fei, I beg of you, your alchemy, as long as your alchemy can definitely save my grandfather. Yes, life essence, as long as we have life essence, my grandfather will definitely be able to recover. As long as you save my grandfather, how could I agree to you? Yuro was still as pitiful as ever. Her voice was so melodious that it could make people's heart fall in love with her. Yuro, if it was your grandfather, I would have naturally saved him without your asking. But he's not your grandfather. Long Fei said in a serious tone. Impossible, Long Fei, he's my grandfather. How could I not know my grandfather? Yuro crawled to Long Fei's feet, tugging at Long Fei's ankle with sincerity. Long Fei, I know you can't help it, but alchemy will bring you disaster. But this is my grandfather, the only family I have. As long as you save my grandfather, I'm willing to be your woman. Please. Yuro thought that Long Fei didn't want to make a move and wanted to plead with all his might because he had his reservations. Fine, Yuro. If he really is your grandfather, then I will make my move. But before that, I need to verify it. Long Fei said as he pointed to Yuro's grandfather. Long Fei, what are you trying to do? Are you crazy? Don't I know my grandfather? I can tell you. Our sect has a special way of sensing it. I am certain that my grandfather's chest is engraved with formation marks. If you want to confirm, you just need to open it and you can do it. Yuro continued to beg Long Fei. Only her tone was ice cold. Long Fei's heart sank, but as matters stood, he had to do it. Sigh. Long Fei walked to the side of grandfather Yuro, and with a casual move, A large piece of the chest area of Grandfather Euro's chest was revealed. These were the formation patterns that Euro had mentioned. Long Fei hesitated. He felt that something was amiss. That feeling just now was definitely not fake. Long Quan, what's going on? Earlier, I clearly sensed that this person had an intense feeling of spying on others. Why is it that there's nothing abnormal now? Long Fei asked Dragon Kwong in his heart. Master, something is wrong with this person. Even though I can't feel anything, I'm clear on the path of formation, Master. The runes on his chest had clearly been activated a long time ago. Generally speaking, if an array pattern was activated, one would die without a doubt. There are only two possibilities for him to still be alive right now. Either another array master is using his own runes to extend his life, or someone else has already possessed him. Long Kwong said. With that said, the coldness in Long Fei's eyes grew stronger. In the entire Qinyang city, only the grandfather and grandson duo was present. This ruled out the first possibility. In other words, the possession of Yu Ro's grandfather was already in place. Look, right, Long Fei, this is my grandfather, Yu said, his eyes full of hope. Long Fei was upset. He wanted to tell Yu Ro that his grandfather had already been possessed, but when he saw the look in Yu Ro's eyes, he could not bear it anymore. Sorry, I misunderstood. However, I'm still lacking one pill to refine. Long Fei said. What's missing? My family does. Zhang Yu heaved a sigh of relief. Seeing that Long Fei had recovered, he immediately offered his support. Long Fei remained expressionless as he secretly cursed his pig-headed teammate in his heart. Under this kind of situation, how could he possibly attack alchemy? These words were just a stall for time and exposed the Zhao family scheme. Who would have thought that Zhang Yu would come at this time to take down the spotlight? You are missing a 1,000-year-old flower. Go find it. Long Fei said casually. There really is one in my family. Just wait a moment, boss. I'll go back home and get it. Zhang Yu left with an excited expression. Thank you, Long Fei. As long as it can save my grandfather, I can do anything. Yu Ro's voice was filled with gratitude. Long Fei was even more unwilling to expose her, and could only say, Don't worry, leave the absolute thing with your grandfather to me. This is an energy replenishing pill. Find a place to refine it, and it will help you heal your injuries. Yes. Yu Ro was extremely obedient as she took the pill back to her room. Until Yu Ro's figure completely disappeared, the smile on Long Fei's face had also been replaced with an ice-cold expression. I don't care who you are, but if you dare to hurt Yu Ro, then I, this father, will dare to shatter your soul. Long Fei's eyes were locked on a Grandpa Yu Ro's body, but this body did not show any signs of abnormality, as it was only a dying old man. But Long Fei believed that his judgment was not wrong. Right now, he could only wait for Zhang Yu to come back before deciding. As long as he consumed the pill, even if his body was possessed, Long Fei could control it. But at this moment, Long Fei suddenly felt the mountain mist sword moving wildly in the space, incessantly in a frenzy. Kid, the Zhang family is in danger. If you still want to leave this unknown place, you must go and save him. Long Beishan's voice once again appeared from the dragon scale. Long Fei did not dare hesitate and immediately went to find Yu Ro. Seeing that she was in the process of refining a medicinal pellet, he did not say anything further and immediately activated the God's Pavilion. God's Pavilion, bring out a few experts for me. You must protect this place well. Long Fei said, Don't worry, Master. The Lord of the Planar is already halfway through his reformation. How much do you need? God's Pavilion said excitedly. Long Fei pondered for a moment, then said, 10 then, hide. I want to see exactly what the Zhao family wants. The cultivation of the Realm Lord was not weak. Even the worst among them was at the late stage of the ancient profound realm. Long Fei believed that he would be able to deal with the existence in Yu Ro's grandfather's body. The cultivation of the Realm Lord was not weak. Even the worst among them was at the late stage of the ancient profound realm. Long Fei believed that he would be able to deal with the existence in Yu Ro's grandfather's body. All right, God's Pavilion replied. Shwa shwa shwa. Following that, 10 figures appeared out of nowhere and landed in front of Long Fei, including the original master of the Demon Origin Sector. Greetings, Master. The 10 of them knelt on the ground in a very natural manner, without a single shred of resistance. Protect him well. If anything goes wrong, just wait for his death to subside and he will die. Long Fei said coldly. Master, don't worry. Even if we die, we won't let anything happen to the matriarch. At this moment, Zhang had already pushed open the Zhang clan's door. He was extremely excited. In just half a day, he had already broken through 2 levels. He couldn't wait to show off. He wanted those Zhang elders who had looked down on him to come over and kneel down and lick him. Unexpectedly, just as he entered the gate of the Zhang clan, 2 silhouettes appeared. Zhang Yu was caught off guard, and before he could even react, he was instantly suppressed by the Zhang clan elder. What are you doing? I'm Zhang Yu. The more Zhang Yu struggled, the more he struggled. I'm looking for you. Little bastard, you still dare to come back. A voice rang out, filled with incomparable rage. Zhang Yu opened his eyes and saw the Zhang clan elder leading the Zhao clan to Zhang Yu. Little bastard, you father and son are really the center of the Zhang family. You lost the mountain mist sword, your father will vouch for you. We are magnanimous and have spared your life. I never would have thought that you would not regret it, not accept an ant as your boss, and even attack the Zhao family. You are truly a heinous crime. Even if it's your father today, he won't be able to protect you. The Zhang family's head elder looked at Zhang Yu with a cold expression. Killing intent exploded in his heart. Zhang Yu was stunned for a moment. Then he understood that something had happened to the Zhang family. Father, what did you do to my father? Zhang Yu's voice was icy cold, and his cultivation base of the 9th level of the ancient era's great power instantly exploded out, breaking free of his control. Tell me, what did you do to my father? Zhang Yu said with a cold expression. He really did break through. No wonder he was so arrogant, but so what? Offending the Zhao family, not to mention breaking through to the 9th level. Even if you did so, you would still be an ant. Zhang Jieji the elder remained unmoved. With a cold glint in his eyes, he turned around and said. The Zhang clan head elder said, Young Master Zhao, let your men do it. As long as we capture this brat, they won't need to worry about Zhang Shou not compromising. Very well. A mere 9th level of the ancient era dares to attack our Zhao family? You're simply courting death. A young man beside the Zhang clan's grand elder said. However, Zhang Yu was shocked. Xiao Shua, why are you in my Zhang family? Why am I in your Zhao family? Of course it's to make your Zhang family submit to you. In this 1,000-sun city, no one dares to go against my Zhao family. Zhang Yu, even if you did break through, you're still just an ant. Previously, because of the Mountain Mist Sword, it was against your Zhang clan, but now that the Mountain Mist Sword has been lost, your Zhang clan is a dog that has lost its home. As Zhao Shua spoke, he slightly raised his head. The 2 people beside him instantly made their moves. Boom! The 2 of them were extremely fast, and their auras were incomparably powerful. Super Perfection Realm? Zhao family, you've gone too far. Zhang Yu roared in rage. His eyes were bloodshot, and his pupils were bloodshot. Too much bullying? An existence like you, isn't that what you're used to bully? Zhao Shua was extremely pleased with himself. Boom! The 2 people from his Zhao family weren't people that Zhang Yu could deal with. It was difficult to make up for the difference in realms. Zhang Yu tried his best, but he could only block one. Another palm landed on Zhang Yu's body, causing his body to heavily fall into the yard, severely injuring him and spitting out blood. Zhang Shou, are you still not coming out? Are you still going to be a cowardly turtle? Do you think that you can escape death just by going into seclusion? All the elders of your Zhang family have submitted to my Zhao family. As the leader of the family, what can you do? I'll count to 3. If you still don't appear, I'll kill Zhang Yu. Zhao Shua said viciously. Boom! In the Zhang clan's backyard, a ray of light shot into the sky. Zhao family, are you trying to start a war? When Zhang Shou appeared and saw the severely injured Zhang Yu, his aura became even more berserk. Great war. Is your Zhang family worthy? Zhang Shou, by now, The entire Zhang clan has submitted to you. Do you still have the qualifications to fight? Zhao Shuo was not afraid at all, because the moment Zhang Shou appeared, the experts of the Zhao family had already appeared. Zhang Shou Sheng, who was in the middle of the air, looked towards the Zhang clan's grand elder. Zhang Yingtian, you want to seek power? Zhang Shou asked coldly. Zhang Shou, what kind of conspiracy? Don't you think that you have the Zhang family in your hands? As the great elder of the Zhang family, I will definitely not sit by and watch the Zhang family die. Also, do you think you're still a patriarch? Your son killed the people of the Zhao family because you couldn't discipline them properly. Now, your place of residence has been abolished. Moreover, the Zhao family is merciful. As long as we hand over your father and son, our Zhang family would still be the Zhang family and would still be one of the 3 great families of Thousand Sun City. And this old man is the Zhang clan head. Zhang Yingtian laughed maniacally. At this moment, they had already fallen out with each other. Now, all the members of the Zhang family have been bribed by Zhang Yingtian to give up their dignity in front of the oppression of life and death. He was prepared to use Zhang Shou and Zhang Yu's lies in exchange for their peace. Zhang Shou, all of this is caused by your son. We will not bear the blame. Right? On what basis does he make a mistake? Let us bear the consequences. Only if you die will we be safe and sound. The people of the Zhang clan kept pushing each other. Every time the Zhang family members spoke, Zhang Shou's heart became colder. Ha ha, what a good show. TSK, the families are at loggerheads. This young master really likes it. Zhao Shuo spoke at an inappropriate time. Shut up. I advise you all to immediately leave the Zhang clan. Otherwise, you don't need to leave. Zhang Shou suddenly exploded. The aura around his body was immense, surging with power. He was at the 6th level of the super realm. Boom! The immense pressure caused Zhao Shuo to bleed from the mouth and nose. Zhang Shou, you dare to attack me? Inverse. Elder, kill him. Zhao Shuo shouted crazily. Rumble. Boom. Asterisk, boom. Asterisk, boom. Asterisk, a huge palm descended from the sky, directly towards Zhang Yu. Zhang Shou, I didn't expect you to break through, but so what? If you dare to hurt Zhao Shuo, I'll kill your son. Following the appearance of the giant palm, a voice could be heard in the air. Zhao Wuji. Zhang Shou's eyes were sinister, but facing Zhao Wuji's pressure, he had no choice but to stop. But at this moment, Zhang Yu woke up and forcefully shouted, Dad, don't worry about me. Kill him. In the sky, the gigantic palm was getting lower and lower. In the sky, the gigantic palm was getting lower and lower. Its speed was extremely fast, so it might land on Zhang Yu in the next second. Stop! I'll give up the position of the family head. However, you must release my son. Zhang Shou said, his eyes filled with unwillingness. The Zhang family had existed for thousands of years and was established in an unknown land. Other than the holy artifact as passed down through the family, the achievements of the previous patriarchs had not been forgotten. But now it was about to be devoured by the Zhao clan. He knew that as long as he took this step back, the entire Zhang family would fall. He was counting on Zhang Yintian to change his surname to Zhao, but he had no choice. The Zhao family was too strong. Zhao Wuji was too strong. If he didn't step back, Zhang Yu would die. Haha, a wise man submits to the circumstances. Zhang Shou, kneel down and beg me. As long as you kneel down, I'll let you, this useless son of mine, go. Zhao Wuji's voice came down from the sky. Soon after, a figure appeared, and beside him, there was another person that followed. It was none other than Elder Qin Shuang of the Qin family. Old fool fart. Father, quickly make a move. Don't worry about me. Kill Zhao Shuo. Kill these traitors who have betrayed their family. Even if our Zhang family is really dead, we won't be homeless dogs. Zhang Yu was close to a roar, his eyes blood red. It was as if the roar contained the anger in his heart. In the distance, in the air, Long Fei had already rushed over. He had initially wanted to make his move, but he stopped right now. He also wanted to know what was so special about Zhang Yu, or in other words, the entire Zhang clan. But he was disappointed. This kind of relationship between the Zhang clan and the Hu clan led to their own destruction. It could be said that he didn't have a sense of the overall situation. This was especially so for those who fought internally to seize power and live to see the light. This made Long Fei even more shameless. Ice and Fire said so. My Long family is the true, undefeatable legend. If the spine of a clan is broken, and there is no arrogance, then death will not be too far off. Long Fei saw everything that happened in the Zhang family and had a feeling in his heart. He doubted it. How did the Zhang family survive until now? A group of retarded people who thought with their legs and walked with their brains coveted peace of mind before their eyes. They abandoned all their roots and did not think about the root of their problems. Most importantly, how could such a family be related to Long Batian? Or was this the key to his escape from the Bedlam lands? Is that possible? Long Fei himself wasn't confident at all. Could it be Zhang Yu? Long Fei didn't dare think about it. If it wasn't for the fact that Zhang Yu was a hedonistic disciple that carried his own alchemy, Long Fei would not have bothered about him. But at this time, the mountain mist sword in the space went completely berserk, frantically struggling, wanting to struggle free from the space ring's restrictions. Ding! The decayed blood has been devoured. Ding! The decayed blood has been devoured. Not only was it violent, it even devoured the 2 drops of decayed blood from before. Devoured the blood of decay. Long Fei was also stunned. Originally, he did not know how to use the supporting blood, but now that it had been automatically devoured, Long Fei was even more certain that this mountain mist sword was definitely not ordinary. Wong. 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 The mountain mist sword seemed to have been infused with a new power after devouring the auxiliary blood. The sword shone brightly and turned blood red, with even a gash appearing. The ravines were crisscrossing. It was a shocking sight to behold. Fuck, it has evolved. Long Fei took the mountain mist sword out of the spatial space. Whiz! In the next instant, the misty mountain sword slashed through the void, piercing through space. At this moment within the Zhang clan, TSK, I didn't think that a piece of trash would have such backbone. But so what? With this old man here, neither of you will be able to survive. Go to hell. Zhao Tiantian's treacherous palm came crashing down. In the curtain, the huge golden palm crushed countless buildings and turned them into ruins. No, Zhang Shou roared. He was willing to give up everything to save Zhang Yu. But not now. Boom. Zhang Shou's figure jumped over, his long hair turning white at a speed visible to the naked eye. In just a tenth of a second, Zhang Shou turned from a robust young man to a hunchbacked old man. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Zhang Shou finally arrived in front of Zhang Yu before the palm landed and forcefully blocked it. No, don't, father. Zhang Yu struggled, but was already too late. He was already injured, and now he saw Zhang Shou burning his life in exchange for cultivation to save him. Blood life method? Use his life to raise his cultivation? Zhang Shou, you really did hide it well, but that's it. It's only the 8th level of the super realm. Brother Qin, join hands and kill him. 30% of the Zhang clan's harvest will be given to your Qin clan. Zhao Wutian looked towards Qin Shuang and said, Brother Zhao was too polite. However, there was no longer a need for the Zhang family to continue existing here. This change in the primal chaos happens to be a massacre for our Thousand Sun City. In the future, our 2 families will be enough. Qin Shuang's face was moved. Obviously, he was moved by Zhao Wutian's words. Moving, even pretending to be deep and dignified. Boom. As soon as they finished speaking, Zhao Wutian and Qin Shuang made their moves at the same time. Great Heavenly Palm. Falling Immortal Fist. Both of them struck out with one fist and one palm, forming a vast sky. The palm descended, the heaven and earth turned upside down, the fist descended, and the stars sank in and the earth shifted. Within the Zhang clan, the crowd was no longer able to open their eyes. As the 2 of them fought, a resplendent power erupted. Brilliant light covered the entire sky, making it impossible for them to look straight at each other. Instinctively, these people quickly evaded. None of them wanted to be dragged into this mess and become a ghost. Only Zhang Shou and Zhang Yu were exposed. Zhang Shou took the lead, using his own body to block Zhang Yu behind him. Remember, you carry the secrets of our Zhang family's eternal inheritance with you. All of this was destined to happen from the moment you were born, when you were able to obtain the Mountain Mist Sword's acknowledgement of the owner. Thus, no matter what, he had to survive. Control of the Mountain Mist Sword, there will be a day when you will, with our own good fortune, we will be able to lead the Zhang clan to the pinnacle of power once more. Zhang Shou said with a serious expression as if he was in charge of something behind the scenes. After saying that, he used all his strength to push Zhang Yu away and then turn around to fight. Boom! Boom! Zhang Shou used his fingers as a sword. Streams of sword chi flowed through his hands, finally forming a sword. A mountain mist sword that took the form of a sword chi. Cut it for me. Zhang Shou threw caution to the wind and gathered all of his cultivation, and even his life, under this sword. He wanted to fight for Zhang Yu's chance of survival, so he had already made the resolution to die. It was similar to the attacks he was using, the blood death magic, using blood to take the place of life. A battle to the death. No, Zhang Yu landed heavily several kilometers away. However, he did not fear death and turned around, heading towards the location of the battle. Boom! Asterisk, rumble, rumble, rumble. However, just at this moment, the power of the three clashed together, causing a huge explosion. Zhang Yu's body was also pulled out. Haha, the art of blood and death is only so strong. How strong do you think you are? Zhang Shou is dead now, little bastard. It's your turn now. At the edge of the explosion, a loud laughter could be heard. It was Zhao Wutian. Explosions rang out. Explosions rang out. On the ground, the huge explosion had already turned the surrounding area into dust, no longer existing. Zhao Wuji stood alone in the deep pit of the earth. His face was covered with blood, and even his eyes were protruding out from his face, revealing a bloody mess. Boom! Another figure appeared in the midst of the ruins. Qin Shuang. So what if this kind of trash uses the blood death method? Chaos legends were legends. After all, not fates. Even if I have to use this secret art, I will only be able to use my life in exchange for temporary strength. Qin Shuang, whose entire body was also riddled with scars, walked out from the rubble and stood next to Zhao Wuji. Below, Zhang clan. The people from the Zhang clan and Zhao clan had long since fled far away. Seeing the explosive force, it seemed like they had survived a disaster. Their faces were filled with joy. It was the same for the Zhang family's great elder, Zhang Yingtian. He did not feel the slightest bit ashamed or guilty. Instead, he went up to them with a flattering look on his face. These two elders are truly extraordinary. I'm truly grateful to you for eradicating my Zhang clan's rebellion. Upon seeing this, the Zhang clan elders and disciples behind him also began to speak up, fighting to be the first to speak. They were afraid that if they spoke too late, they would be treated as Zhang Yu's accomplices. Zhang Shou and his son have truly brought this upon themselves. Fortunately, there are two elders with overwhelming power. Yes, that's right. It is also a misfortune for our Zhang family to have such a scum. Today, the two elders have stepped in to clean up the mess. Our Zhang clan is extremely grateful. As for that little bastard Zhang Yu, there's no longer a need for him to live. In order to express my apology to the Zhao family, this old man will personally take action and finish him off. From the crowd, an elder of the Zhang clan walked out. At this moment, Zhang Yu had already dragged his heavily injured body to the edge of the ruins. He couldn't believe that his father was dead. Father, come out. Come out quickly. I don't believe it. Even those two old things are still alive. I don't believe that you are dead. Come out quickly. Zhang Yu's voice became more and more hoarse as he weakly wailed. The betrayal of his family and the arrogance of his enemies became two insurmountable mountains for Zhang Yu. Ha ha ha! You still don't believe me? Zhang Yu, your father is dead, and so is your Zhang family. Look at them. They're all as obedient as a dog that kneels in front of our Zhao family. If I tell them to head east, they won't dare head west. They are just a bunch of trash who can only survive by wagging their tails and begging for pity. Your Zhang clan is just a bunch of cowardly dogs that are unworthy of our Zhao clan. Zhao Shuo laughed like a madman. He was captured by Zhang Shou and almost died. Now that he had vented his anger and was taking out the Zhang clan's anger, this seemed to be the only way to dispel the humiliation in his heart. In the Zhang family, a few elders clenched their fists tightly. However, when they saw Zhao Wutian and Qin Shuang, they powerlessly lowered their hands. My dog, your ancestor. At this moment, in the Zhang family mansion, a young man could not suppress the anger in his heart. He pulled out his sword and attacked Zhao Shuo. Roar! Ka! Asterisk the sword was directly broken the moment it was pulled out. How dare you? How dare you attack young Master Zhao? Zhang Yingtian immediately took action, breaking the long sword in the Zhang disciple's hands and then striking down with his palm. Puff! The heads of the Zhang disciples fell to the ground. Haha, do you see that? This is a good dog. You can call out. You can continue to call out. If you dare to attack me, this old dog will take your life. Zhao Shuo became even more crazy. Zhang Yingtian's expression became more and more embarrassed. Being called an old dog by Zhao Shuo, he wanted to explode. However, in the end, he still fell silent. At this moment, Zhang Yu slowly stood up from the edge of the ruins. However, Zhang Yu's body was emitting an extremely frightening aura. His eyes turned incomparably empty, and the whites of his eyes disappeared without a trace. His pair of empty eyes were like the gaze of a death god, coldly staring at everyone in front of him. Even Long Fei, who was in the air, felt shocked. Right now, Zhang Yu is in an extremely unstable state. What power is this? The aura is so weird. A super evolved treasure? Long Fei asked. Master, this kind of power is too ancient. It basically does not exist in the divine space. I suspect that it has something to do with the Lord of Chaos. Yes, Long Quang answered from within his body. Lord of the Chaos? The Bedlam Lands? Long Batian? These three messages flashed across Long Fei's mind. As expected of the ruler of the Bedlam Lands, the only one who did so was the Lord of Primordial Chaos. His grandfather had once told him to come to this place to search for the Primordial Chaos. Lord, give him a jade pendant. However, from the moment he came to this unknown land, Long Fei had not sensed anything abnormal. On the other hand, Long Batian had told him to protect Zhang Yu, and that was the key for him to leave the primal chaos grounds. It seems that Zhang Yu is truly not simple. Long Fei did not appear in a hurry and used his formidable wrist strength to grab the mountain mist sword in his hand. He was waiting for Zhang Yu to explode. Furthermore, Long Batian did not give any hints, which meant that Zhang Yu was not in danger yet. Below, the crowd looked at the transformed Zhang Yu, their faces filled with fear. Right now, Zhang Yu could no longer see his original appearance. From the first two changes in his eyes until now, only a few seconds had passed. Explode. No, that's impossible. Suddenly, Zhang Yingtian shouted loudly. He's just a piece of trash. How could he possibly awaken the power of the Zhang ancestor? That's impossible. Furthermore, the mountain mist sword hasn't awakened yet. How could he awaken such a power? Elder Zhao, quickly kill him. Kill him. Otherwise, he will definitely become a nightmare for the Zhao and Qin families. Zhang Yingtian was like a madman. Hearing this, the expressions on Zhao Wutian and Qin Shuang's faces froze. Zhang Yingtian, you're saying that this brat has awakened the power of the rotten blood vein, the Zhang family's ancestor, and the rotten emperor? Zhao Wushuang asked urgently. Right, no wonder Zhang Shou cared so much about this kid. He didn't even care about losing the Misty Mountain sword. It turned out that what he cared about was Zhang Yu himself. Elder Zhao, quickly kill him. Otherwise, once his power awakens, I will. All who are present will die. Zhang Yingtian urged frantically, but his footsteps kept backing away. What a rotten emperor! Ha! The heavens have truly treated my Zhao family well. After seizing this power, in this entire unknown land, who could possibly be my match? Zhao Wutian's eyes flashed with greed, and he made his move. As for Long Fei, who was in the air, the long sword in his hand finally erupted at this moment. Even though Long Fei's wrist strength had reached several tens of thousands of kilograms, he was still unable to control it, and it slipped out of his hand in an instant. Decay Emperor, Decay Blood? Could it be that this is another kind of powerful ancient power? Long Fei's figure also stepped out and stood in front of everyone. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.